And we are live. We don't have a fancy video for this one because my laptop cannot handle fancy videos, apparently. And every time I've tried it so far, I sit here awkwardly in silence while everybody else wonders what's going on. So welcome to Dash 28 Live. I'm your host, Elliot Morrish. We have here Table 2 of Call to Arms in the round 6. This is probably the battle for second place, but we've just been figuring out it could be first if everything goes perfectly, or terribly, depending on how you look at it. So we have Tas Stacey versus Paul Brown, Northern Lions versus Elves. So we don't have Paul with us. So Tas, do you want to just run through your list quickly?
Yeah, sure. So my list is, yes, Northern Alliance. I've got 2 regiments of Dwarf Clansmen. I have 4 troops of Half-Elf Berserkers, 2 hordes of Snow Trolls, 2 hordes of Frostfang Cavalry, one with Headstrong and the other with Fury. A Thane with Inspiring Talisman and Rally, 2 Lords on Frostfang, and Iceblade with Wings of Honeymaze.
Very nice. Thank you.
And I can run through Paul's list too if you want.
Yeah, sure. If you want to.
Sure. All right. So he's running a troop of Forest Guard, 2 hordes of Palace Guard, one with a Staying Stone, a regiment of Kindred Archers, a regiment of Stormwind Cav with Pathfinder, a troop of Silver Breeze Cav, a regiment of Dracon Riders, and a horde of Dracon Riders, and the horde has Jesse's boots on it. An Elven King with Mace of Crushing and on a horse. 2 Elven Archmages, one with a Boomstick and Lightning Bolt, and the other with Inspiring Talisman, Bane Chant, and Lightning Bolt 5. And then finally, the Dragon Kindred Lord with Blade of Slashing.
I like how you pretended to read that there, Taz, when I know full well you've got that memorised.
It's been haunting my dreams. Yeah.
It's been giving you nightmares for days, right?
Well, I thought we swapped lists like on Tuesday because I thought, that'll stop me just like obsessing over what to bring or not. And now I'm just obsessing over, I know the Nova Weaver values of all of this. Anyway. It's good stuff.
So you haven't thought about it much at all. You buggered really going into this game.
It's like I'm playing for sheep stations. This has consumed my life. This is the most important thing in my life right now. And
Well, I happen to have a game against you tomorrow, Taz, in a completely different tournament. So hopefully you'll burn yourself out and get real salty after this game, and then I can come and sweep you up, mate.
Have you seen the list I'm running in that tournament?
No.
I think I'm. That's the brother.
Don't need to.
Anyway.
Don't care.
Sure. Oh, okay. You're gonna be like that, huh? All right. Yeah. Sure. You don't just look like an arrogant jerk.
Yeah, that's right. I wear my jerkism on the sleeve. Don't worry about
it. Yeah.
Right then, can I get you to run through your deployment?
Yeah, sure. So we deployed with the objective tokens. You can't see it, but along the top edge, there's 3 tokens basically along the top. You might be able to see one. His Cav is sitting on one. There's one in the middle that his Dracon Regiment sitting, and then his horde of Dracons is sitting on the other one. And then there's 2 down the bottom and then 2 in the middle. So that was the placement of the tokens. Then for the deployment, I chose the bottom edge and I've deployed, I know you can see my sort of two blocks, and he's got his 2 blocks. Well, he's got his blocks of infantry in the middle and then his fast stuff split on the other flanks. So we will see how that goes.
For some reason on that screen, I've lost your Lord. Can you see it on the left?
Yeah, it's invisible.
You see
in my browser, but not on the streamed version.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can only see one Lord as well in the middle there.
Yeah, so there's meant to be one on the left flank.
Hang on, I'm just going to move. Can you see me moving blue things around?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you need to leave, Elliot, and then try and rejoin?
I'll leave and sort this out. While you're setting up, we'll figure it out while you're.
Probably invisible lords are a little overpowered when we're playing for sheep stations after all.
So these, we're yeah. Okay, so Elliot, you ready to jump back in?
Yeah. So there's meant to be a lord on the front with your flying ice blade.
Yeah.
I like the Flying Iceblade. It is a lovely little character. It doesn't have Iron Resolve, and I don't know why, because every other half elf does.
It does have the higher defense for it. Be nice.
Anyway. The Iceblade is barely worth its points, even with wings. So
yeah, it's like a flying assassin, but less ratty. So I can see the value for sure. So are we? He's got a lot of half elves in the list here, Taz. So we're referring to half elves. You can't say he or she. I understand they're referred to as they. Is that correct?
No, they're definitely she's.
Oh, they're she's.
The law makes very explicit to point out that they're all wild women of the frozen north.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Are you right to rejoin, Elliot? Or are you...
I'm looking for the password.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, so I can stream it from mine if you want.
Oh yeah, problem is you'll still be to hear us then. And then we can't say mean things about you. There we are. Look, we now hit back.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, we're okay.
I'm planning on ragging on you big time, Taz, so I don't want you listening to it.
I agree. I couldn't bear to play with you in my ear the whole time.
Yeah.
There we are. Look, we've got a Lord up here.
All right. So yes, I just put the Lord and the Iceblade with wings on the other flank. All right.
And it's probably worth just mentioning Tas and Paul will be typing everything out because they're on text, not talk. So we'll see a lot of chat going on down the side.
Yes. Okay. That'll be me then, won't it? All right.
Bugger off.
Yeah. Right. We'll leave you here. We'll let you go play.
Good luck, Taz. I'm voting. I'm rooting for the Northern Alliance, mate. You can do it. Bring it home.
Yeah, do it for Canberra.
I hope you draw.
Jeez, mixed alliances here. So, what do we know about the other player? Given that we've been introduced to Taz, what do we know about him?
So Paul is an absolutely excellent player that never plays or goes to very few tournaments. So I've always said if Paul went to more tournaments in the UK, he'd have a good shot at being UK #1. But he just plays in one little local tournament, and whenever we go there, he just beats us up. Basically.
And he only plays elves, yeah?
All he plays is elves, yeah. And he has this army, full model count with original GW elves.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be a firm faction loyalty with elf players in general, isn't there? I find a lot of elf players seem to obsess
not
it
from either end.
Elliot, you're still not working, mate.
Not the range 5. Not the range 5.
I'm really not working, am I?
Elves and our goblins and skirts.
No, the stream's not working, Elliot.
So, can someone else share a screen?
I could give it a red hot.
If somebody else that's in the room shares the screen, I can then.
Do you share it from a browser or?
Yeah, if you just press share, there should be a share screen button in there. We're loving the professionalism of this, guys. It's, to be honest, this is what you expect when you have me hosting. So,
will it share my whole screen or just a window?
You can choose just to share your window.
Hide all the pornography beforehand, all that half-elf action you got going on in the background.
We know that's been done on YouTube videos before.
We don't want to get any demonetized here. Elliot doesn't want to miss his payday.
Has that worked? No.
It's all done. We can see all of it. We can see everything.
See everything. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so just as an update, Paul's going first.
Okay. There we go. Well, we said we want it to be almost like radio. So.
All right.
At the moment, you've got the little cavalry clump of the Drakkenhorde, the Silver Breeze, and the Dragon Lord on the left. They've just moved down onto the hill, which is what you'd expect them to do.
Okay.
Arranging the Lord.
Tom, if you're in, would you be able to share your screen?
Yeah. I'm currently 2 screens.
Oh, hang on.
Give me a second. I'll set it up, but you're going to have to have that.
No, we're looking up. We're in.
Got it.
There we
Seamless.
Absolutely seamless. Who knew?
So Taz is, I know I've seen this Taz play this list a bit, and his heavy lifting is actually done in those half elves. It's surprising, punchy as well.
Which is strange since they have such spindly arms. They're mainly about the thunder thighs, aren't they? I mean, because that's how they boogie across the battlefield so swiftly. They've really got that dancer's gait and the thunderous charge as well, but no crushing strength.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
He was quite dismayed talking to Paul earlier in this week because Paul straight up said, "Oh yeah, the parent in that list is in the half elves." He's like, "No one else has recognised that."
That's right. No.
Don't we think that he must think they're good if he's taken 4 units of them? Usually that's a bit of a tell.
Yeah. Well, I see people taking them as chaff as well, and then because they are still
Well, they
really
can
good
chaff. Yeah, you can charge 13 to 15 inches, go into the front of something. Unlike a unit of doggos or gargoyles or whatever, they'll turn the front rank into sushi before they go down, which is not too shabby really for a chaff unit.
I know. I ran an all half elf list. So it's like 4 regiments and 4 troops, something like that. And they were really good because just the amount of overlapping threat projection from the ranges you've got is great, and they're actually fairly hard to kill. So the defense 3, if you're fighting an army with a lot of crushing, is fine because you've got so many units to charge with. You're going to get your thunderers in. It's going to do quite a lot of damage.
That's why they think it's so important these days to bring just a little bit of shooting, because berserker units are very popular. And there's a lot of like nasty defense 4 and 3 units out there that have squillions of attacks and whatever else. So I think I've been playing a bit of Northern Alliance lately, and I've been playing a couple of bolt throwers and a little bit of other shooting. But it's a bit less aggro than this army Taz has got in front of us here. And I've been having a lot of success with them, but I'm interested to see how this goes because there's a lot of she-devils ready to do some shopping in this army.
There's a fair amount of shooting with the lightning bolts. Even the Archer Regiment, people berate it now, but it can still do a lot of plink damage against troops like that.
Yeah, the flyers are the big threat to Taz. He's obviously he hasn't quite got the mobility that Paul has, and Paul looks like he's added a bit more flying to his list from other games. So that left flank is going to be, I think it's going to be a big tell in this game, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Taz is planning with that Lord there. Maybe just Operation Distraction Badger or something like that.
Yeah, like he's going to be able to sit them down, but then what are you going to do? Like there's nothing else near it.
Well, that Lord's going to get it torn a new asshole in the next turn, I suspect, unless he backs up with them or something. And even then, I don't know how he could be that long for this world. And that's his one of 3, I apologize, inspiring sources. But it's still an important loss because those bad boys are basically dragons without wings. Those lords on
they're amazing. They're baby dragons out there for 100 less points.
Yeah, we're usually packing 9 attacks if you've got the little fox. He doesn't have a fox, I noticed. So only 8 attacks on them. Still, that's just pretty nasty.
Yeah. So in terms of scenario play, what tokens do you think they're going to be focusing on, and which are they going to be ignoring or burning?
I think Paul kind of missed a trick here because he's left the rear side left and rear side right. Those Silverberries, Stormwind, heavy cat, fuck them. They're going to have to come off that right side one, aren't they? Those Silverberries you think are going to have to turn around and go backwards. So I'd have expected you might as well take a chance with your Ice Blade there, because I was looking at it earlier, the Ice Blade on the left. If that takes a charge from the Silverberries, I was looking at it, and the Dragon won't be able to fit in because the Dragon will line to the left side and there won't be enough space. So it'll be another option to go in there to get the Silverberries, which is going to be one of those main capturing units out of the way, because then you can't. That leaves that token free at the back, and it means Paul capture as well. And if the Dragons commit and you back your Lord up on your Frostfang, so then you'll be in range if the Dragons do go into the Ice Blade. But
we've got shooting on the Ice Blade by the look of it. From the
it's a good shot.
There you go, 6s to hit, doesn't matter. Knock a couple of wounds on him. Or her, I should say. Yeah, it definitely seems like while Paul is dominating that left flank, you would expect the other way around for Taz to take that right flank, because double trolls and double half elves is more than enough for handling those Silverberries, I would have thought. Or rather, just smash
5 wounds. 5 wounds.
Yeah. Just on 5 damage.
Crikey. Look at those 6s. Well, it's better to be lucky than good, gentlemen.
I've never been good, so I wouldn't know.
My thinking for this game is Paul's got a nice list for fighting, here. Like he's going to do those Palace Guard will take a charge from the Frostfang and then pick him up on the counter, easily. But Paul doesn't have much to take objectives. Everything needs to be doing something. Whereas Tas has a lot of units which can just stand on an objective and not do it all.
Yeah, the Dwarf Clansman regiments are a really nice addition here.
Yeah, it's interesting how he's deployed them at the very back there, because looking at the Northern Alliance a fair bit lately, I want to sort of get a mixture. You want to get some mans in there, a few half-elves, a few elves, a few dwarves, right? But because that's what their shtick. But the dwarves are very static units. The only ones they have really are these blokes that just stand there and hold objectives. But they're a very high nerve, cheap D5 unit.
They
do hold that objective really well.
That's all they are, really. They're a block of unit strength.
Yeah, they work as an anchor and a pinch as well, don't they? With fighting 16 Fury.
Well, it's a shame you can't have Dwarf Rangers in the list, because I feel like that would fit the theme and aesthetic of the whole hunty Northern Alliance vibe really well, but can't get him in there.
I'd like another dwarf unit in the Northern Alliance, or a dwarf character or something, just because you've only got dwarf clansmen, whereas everyone else has got an elf archer unit, an elf archer character, half elves, and loads of human stuff.
Yeah, it did feel a bit like a token addition.
Yeah.
So the troop of berserkers has been taken off, half-elf berserkers, and he destroyed the token that was under his Stormwind. So now he's going to obviously move them forward next turn.
Yep, he's saying bugger that flank. He's sending a message loud and clear. He's not interested in these objectives.
Yep.
Not even, at least he's shown that he has realised this is an objective game, though. Despite the move on the left flank, he has remembered that that's how you win the game.
Insightful tactical thing from the comments here.
Piss off, Goldie. I'm going to eat chocolate cake if I want to. It was personally delivered to the room, so I'm not going to say no.
There you go. You're a lucky man. Better to be lucky than good, Matt, as we said.
Later, don't you worry.
The Stormwind on the right not doing anything for a turn is they are now effectively hemmed in, and they will be dead. Realistically, they half elves and then die, or they don't charge and they can't get away because they can't rotate 90 and get past the obstacle there, so they die. Or they back up and then they back up and then eventually they die. You've earned that token, yeah, good job, but that Stormwind unit isn't going to do anything really. I don't see him being effective for the rest of the game, and you kind of need him on that flank. 2 hordes of trolls.
Yeah, you do need them, but it's really put Tas out of position now. Like they're really near nothing else, right? So he's going to have to start swinging back towards the middle.
Yeah, they're on an objective at the moment. There's one
Are they?
hill. Yeah, there's one on the
right.
hill.
Okay.
No, I think they deleted it, the one underneath them.
No, the Stormwind did, but they're...
right, there's one under there.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Be a bit rude just to move his trolls to look.
I don't think we can do that, can we?
No, you can't move other players' units.
No.
All we can do is add our own.
Do you think the centre point of that rightmost troll is on that hill?
It
looks like it might be a bee's dick off. So that's that is an awkward position if he expects to be able to double charge them later on in the turn. I mean, it probably won't matter, but it might come up.
Well, look at that smooth zooming. This is pro. Lucky you got me running this show, Elliot.
Well, exactly. It's doing a lot better than me. At least we can see what's going on.
These walls, though, they could be a big factor in this game because all of those giant bears of doom, they do have Strider, so they can deal with the walls better than anything in the Elf army.
Yeah.
It's true.
Those units are they hit like a ton of bricks packed into the back of a ute at 100 k's an hour. They really boot.
They really do. I mean, I think the Palace Guard hordes are one of the few things that can actually take that hit, just with the amount of nerve they've got.
Yeah.
You know,
usually you two though.
Your 15, 17, 16, 18 units just die in one go.
Yeah, they only do 10 damage to a defense 5 unit. That's not
only 10.
Yeah.
I know, but that's still a reliable hunk of damage, isn't it? So that's before any items or anything.
If you're fighting 15, 17 stuff, which you are most of the time, you want to be doing 12, 13, really, and it's just below the curve. And especially on a slightly rapid roll, you're not doing it.
But so is every other unit in the entire game. Like they do more damage on the charge than anything, really. Like what else does 10 damage to a defense 5 unit?
Renegade, Night Hordes, Dragon Hordes.
Some hordes, sure. Yeah. But not much.
Yeah. Nothing does on that kind of footprint. Usually, you've got to be a big footprint unit like a Palace Guard Horde or a Night Horde.
Not to mention with built-in Strata, so you're in a forest with your D5 and you still smack them up.
So Soul Reaver Infantry, that'll do it.
Yeah. I just find that they're not quite hitty enough, and they're very, very they're flimsy really for what they are.
It's interesting with the token placement here that they've both choose to spread them out completely, which means that both armies are having to spread out. And I think that probably suits Paul more than Taz, just because of the mobility and speed.
Very true.
You sort of wonder if Taz would have, as Paul started to spread them out, would have wanted to just sneak a few in that were close together.
Not to mention with shooting, he can pick off isolated units and he can reach out and touch things much better than Taz can with his just absolutely no shooting, balls deep, all holds, no holds barred kind of list.
I think if I was Taz, I would have wanted to. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if that's how a lot of the other games go this weekend. This seems to be a pretty common deployment strategy for the tokens, doesn't it? 2 in each deployment zone that you can just sit on, but then you've got to hold units back, so it won't suit every army.
No, that's right. But every army should probably be coming in with a couple of cheap, unlocky kind of units that either fling a few shots down range, like the elf shooter guys, or just chill and be cheap, like the dwarfs in this case. I think that's just good list construction. It's part of what makes Undead such a tricky list to face at the moment, because you get all these cheap, zombie regiments that just chill there and say, I'm 70 points and I've got an objective. What are you going to do about it?
Game-winning annoyingness. So no shooting, so on to combat. So the Ice Blade's gone into the Dragon Horde.
3 hits.
Is it elite? Is it missing?
No, it's not elite.
No. One way. So he's
only half an elf.
The important one, but
the wrong half is elf, I guess, when it comes to the elite.
I'm not sure I like that charge, because you've not really gained anything from throwing the Ice Blade away there.
No, because she's about to die, and then the dragon's going to charge the Frostfang anyway.
Or it's not, and it can just blast down the board and turn and ignore them. Because the Frostfang is never going to kill those Dracons.
Is he in range there? Do you reckon of the Dracons that
15, isn't it, the charge? So it's,
oh, yeah, it's well in. That's what I mean. Like, you've kind of got to pin the log in.
I think he had in his head, I think, that Dracons were target number 1 for his Ice Blade, and maybe just had a blood rush, and while they're in range, turn 1, I'm just going to go.
I think it's likely that he didn't want he wanted to prevent the double charge on the Lord and hold that flank up a lot longer. And it will probably mean that flank gets held up for an additional turn. So maybe that's worth it. Who knows?
Because they most likely kill the Ice Blade now and then spin to threaten the flank of the middle Frostfangs.
Yeah, that's true.
What's going to happen is those Dwarf Clansmen are going to then walk forward onto the token and break it. The Dragons will look inwards, and then the Dwarf Clansmen will be ignored as the Dragon buggers off. Now, to be fair, I think
if they don't break the token, the Dwarves, if they just walk onto it and chill with it, that forces the Dragon and some of his mates to go sort them out. If they break the token, then they can just ignore them for the rest of the game.
I would force you to engage those Dwarves and make you do something with them.
I think you're going to lose that fight and you're going to give up the token. I would rather not give up the token, because the silver is to sit on it.
He could roll down with that dragon. I charged a dragon into some woodland critters the other day and did 1 wound.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, it's like I say, hindered. It won't kill him in one go, definitely not.
I do like the Lord and Frostfang. You just give that Snow Fox and like Blade of Slashing for 15 more points. You've got
so
2
good.
extra attacks.
Yeah, that's exactly as I've been taking him. That exact setup. You've got a couple of extra hits usually with that configuration. It does make a difference.
Yeah, well, Blade of Slashing is effectively on attack.
You're already sinking 190 in him. You might as well make him 285 and really.
Well, it's still 105 points cheaper than any other dragon, isn't it? And I know it doesn't fly, but That's
but he has
basically why you're
Strider.
losing. Isn't it?
That inbuilt Strider, though, it is so good.
He's got proper nimble as well. None of this flying shenanigan.
Yeah, good point.
Good to keep it. Very inspiring. Is nice as well.
It's just checking there that the Silver Breeze can get a shot on the dwarves, but the Frostfang can't nimble around because it can't see past the dragon.
Although at the moment, is that Drakenhorde on the hill?
I don't think so. I was looking at that. I think it's just off.
That'd be a really sneaky little charge because I reckon Paul's going to turn inwards and then be majority armor, in which case the Lord will nimble charge around into him.
Yeah. Although if he does that, I suppose I'm not sure would be the best charge for him to do. I know again it's stopping the Drakenhorde from the turn, but that Drakenhorde's probably going to do more damage than the dragon.
In the unlikely event that Paul doesn't see it and turns his flank too hard to face that Lord, then that's obviously big points. But I wouldn't expect him to make that mistake.
No, I wouldn't. No.
He'd have to turn it very far.
Yeah. You can turn to face everything you need to and keep in the front even by on accident there, can't you?
But you need to be consciously aware that you're keeping that Lord's centre point in your front arc, which you may not be. If the Ice Blaze holds, we're going to look like real gooses, aren't we? Because that will be the most genius charge of all time if that works.
Yeah. So he's backed up the Archer Regiment, just keeping its leader point at the start of the woods. I'm guessing that was because he was in charge. Yeah, he was just in charge range before. So, hide from the scary Frostfang.
What's the item on me Frostfang? It says HS.
Headstrong.
Yes.
Headstrong and Fury on the other one.
It's all right.
I like that. You've got all that combat power. You want to be able to use it, don't you?
Yeah. That is pretty good. I like on the snow trolls because it pairs up better with their bigger nerve gap.
No life, yeah.
That's true, but wavering those Frostfang is such a big deal. Yeah, because they can go back full strength every time.
Saw this same combo of Headstrong and Fury with Alex this morning. I mean, we had plenty of time to analyse what was on the units, right? So with Fury and Headstrong on each unit, I think it's just making sure your heavy hitters are almost always going in, right?
It's even more important on the Soul Reavers because you've got Life Leech too.
Yeah.
It takes a lucky wave and it pushes it even further back then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, these snow trolls are not going to do a whole lot of anything in this game for the majority of the game, I would have thought. I think you
can pull the left side hard off. The right side hard can go after the Silver Breeze, and your Berserker troops can fill in, and then you've still got the tokens, so the Frost could put back onto the token if you need.
So it looks like he's moving his mounted king next to the Stormwind. I'm guessing he's just going to leave the Stormwind there, just kind of as I'm faster than you. Yeah, you're going to have to factor that in everywhere you go.
I think you're right, though, Tom. That middle Frostfang really has got to go back towards the left now, doesn't it? There's not much good happening over there for Tas.
Yeah, I think there's not really much stopping from doing. I mean, I guess the Draken Regiment in the flank is now a worry, which if he turns and goes to the left, he's going to have to deal with them. He doesn't really have a counter at the moment. But other than that, I think it's not a bad shout really to pull the Frostfang hard on the left across.
And you could use the half elves to screen that flank potentially, depending on how you manoeuvred it. But I can't help but think it's a difficult matchup for Tas with this particular force. Having a little bit of frosty cold business to put a bit of aches into the joints of these elves would be very helpful to mitigate some of that manoeuvring advantage that they have. And these little half elf troops, the Thunder Thigh ballet dancers, they're good against a lot of armies, but I don't know if elves is necessarily one of them. There's always going to be a bit of lightning, a bit of bowfire that they're going to have to cope with. I think he'll just take one of those off every turn with a fair bit of likelihood.
We'll see if he remembers to move his mages, because both of them are in danger range at the moment. It's very easy to forget when you've got two individuals just set out there.
And they are
Shouldn't you
very
be?
important because they are really, really, really good at picking up half elves.
That's
Well,
such
they're
a
very,
UB
very important,
factor.
aren't they? Because it
It's
changes
pretty much the
the
best
flow of the
counter.
game. Yeah.
On tabletop, you wouldn't forget that in a million years. They're just like blokes
Yeah.
standing out in the field, super obvious. But yeah, UB.
There we go. Yeah.
I have been known to make some stupid mistakes that I feel are UB focused.
What do you think Paul's plan with the double Palace Guard is here? He's just going to sit back and threaten space? I mean, I would have thought maybe he'd come forward a little. He's 6'12". He's like well out of range of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose he's no reason to push forward. If the game carries on just with Tas sitting back and Paul shooting bits off here and there, that suits Paul down to the ground. So I think he holds them back.
Yeah. It was an option we discussed, actually. Taz was talking about how he would be in trouble if Paul decided to just sit back and keep shooting because it would take him 3 turns to get there.
I think that's what he's trying to do here, just give him maximum amount of time and make it a really difficult decision so that he's got that extra turn of going across the no man's land there. And do I go for the dragons, which I think is what Taz is trying to decide right now. Do I go for all these Flappy Birds on my flank and try to sort them out, or do I just go up the guts? And I think I don't know. Is the accepted wisdom on the panel that he should probably head left? Not sure.
The problem is you're splitting up further, aren't you? And you're getting to the point where you're going to have units completely out on their own.
I almost feel like his other lord would have to go with him.
Yeah, I think you'd have to really commit quite a bit to that. Otherwise, you are going to be in a situation where you've got units out by themselves. That plink shooting, once it's done with the half elves, it'll do damage to that 15, 17 units.
I think if I was Paul, I would have probably moved the Palace Guard up, and that would have been the wrong choice. I think he's playing this smart.
I think backing the Drakens off, the Central Regiment off as well is a bit of a bad move because they were covering the flank of that Frostfang Horde and now they're not. That Frostfang Horde can turn 90 and walk straight towards the left side where Taz is looking a bit weak now.
Yeah, I'm not sure the logic of backing that one up, really.
No, he's just taken them out of range and they're no longer a threat, are they, really?
Yeah, and they weren't threatened at all, were they?
Good point.
So what did he roll there? One wound on the dwarves from the Silver Breeze.
Oh, yeah.
You said bows were dead. Me. I said bows were dead.
Not Adam. And
So
Adam
where's it going
didn't
with
say
the
it.
regiment? Yeah. So it's like he's shooting at the Frostfang Horde. Yeah, half shots.
Yeah, it'll be all 6s based on the previous roll. No hits.
That's right.
Ooh, he's out of steam.
That's his elite roll, isn't it? So yeah, nothing.
Mhm.
Oh, it's fair enough. You got to expect that.
So I wonder where the lightning bolts. Yeah,
Here we go at the half elves.
they're
So
just the obvious target, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially when you're wounding on 2s.
The trolls will regenerate and they're not much of a threat anyway. And it's either
Lightning
them
bolt
or
8 with
Frostfang,
elite.
isn't it?
It is just the perfect.
Something about the pure breed elves going off the half elf elves that I'm I'm not saying about at the moment, guys. I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable.
Something a bit right wing there.
2s to wound.
How very high
A
elf.
little bit fascisty.
Yes.
It's 3 hits from the next one. And
Was that
2
why
more
they're so low defense? They just can't find armor that will fit because human armor, it's just not quite right. And elf armor, it's just too skinny. It's just the Goldilocks problem, isn't it?
It's the Goldilocks armor issues.
So he's rolling for nerve. There'll be a reroll there.
Yeah, 9 twice.
Doesn't matter.
Ouch.
Gone.
Nine
Yeah.
twice. Jeez.
They were
That's rough.
dash 14 as well, so he needed an 8 twice.
Yeah.
Rallying.
Ouch. That does hurt. That I mean, if he's picking up one of these a turn, that's going to be a real issue, isn't it?
I think he's got the positioning advantage, the army advantage, and it seems like the dice advantage at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's all.
So at this point, do you think that token
to be honest,
near those trolls?
Units instead. Just
Would
turns.
Would Taz now be better off, do you think, smashing the second last, the right-hand unit of half elves up, blocking up those Stormwind and burning that token and coming back towards the middle.
I think so. I think you've got to now. I think you've got to accept you can't just hang around sitting on tokens because you're just going to get shot to bits.
Yeah.
You use the half elves to block the Stormwind in, and then move. You use that big statue to guard your flank as well, and start moving towards the middle. And then,
those half elves really won't
finally got
got
to
long though.
Yeah,
They'll go through.
No, they won't.
nice
But they'll.
and then end
I
up
suppose you
just
can
in front.
you can move forward, can't you, to be able to charge as well.
11 wounds on the Ice Blade, and which is dead.
Aww.
Which now actually makes it too late to bring his Phosphank to the left, doesn't it? Not with any strength.
She almost held there. That was 1 and a 2 on the first nerve.
She did, yeah. She did her best.
Yeah, if she hadn't got shot, she'd have been all right though. She's dash 14, I think.
Yeah. There you are.
If he hadn't pulled all the sixes out, he's Jaxie in the first
That's
turn.
what Paul just said. Good job, I shot him in the first turn.
So I wonder how. Is he not turning? Surely you'd turn to threaten both.
Yeah, I would have thought you'd at least get both in the arc. Maybe he doesn't want to be on the hill. But he's still on the hill, right? You don't have to be majority on the hill to be charged.
No, but I don't think you can see him at the moment.
To see, he does have to. But
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But he could be just a little bit on the hill.
That's close.
Mm.
I think
I
he's
reckon you
off
could play
though.
them.
Oh, he
I
can
think
see,
Probably.
but he can't see over the dragon. Is the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because their height's 6.
There you go.
aren't
Yeah.
they?
Less than half on the hill, so dragon blocks line of sight to the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he realised the height maths. Yeah. So just clarify there for people that haven't realised. So the dragon is height 6, the dracons are height 4, and the height's height 3. So obviously you put them together, they become height 7. You can see over the dragon and nimble charge around.
Yeah, but they've just
What
confirmed that they're off
we were
the
looking
hill,
at that.
so-
Yeah.
Hmm.
4 hits so far with the dragon. Elite plus slashing. I've never seen Blade of Slashing on a elite dragon before.
Yeah, I'd have gone crushing, but hey, why not? Why not?
Well, he's got crushing on the Elf Lord.
Yeah,
So-
already used it, I guess. Had 5 points, probably.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like it.
Let's make him even more of a consistent jerk.
Yep. So
You'd have to be
four
tempted to
damage.
go after the Silver Breeze here. If he'd moved the dwarfs up, I mean, they're not going to offer that much help, let's be honest. But if he'd moved them up the previous turn, they could have at least threatened to charge the dragon because he must have known his lord was going to get charged there.
Yeah.
They'll now be out of range with their piddly little legsies, as demonstrated there.
Who went first? Was it Paul?
Paul.
Oh,
So is it bottom of 2.
Mhm.
In all the excitement with
We've had no
Playing
turn
around with-
marker. Jeez.
yeah.
amateur hour.
I've literally only got
surprised.
one job at this point. I'm not even clicking on units.
I'm surprised the fans haven't complained, all 13 of them.
Hey, I'm impressed with 13 viewers, seeing as that this is one of 4 games today.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit of a
Yeah,
marathon.
it's a busy weekend, isn't it?
Mm.
So obviously Taz is having a good think here. What do we reckon his options are now?
For me, I'd want to be chaffing up the Stormwind on the right and moving the trolls up. So you can move the left-hand troll horde towards the middle.
Mm.
I think you've got to push forward heavily now.
I think he still needs to
absolutely.
threaten the Silver Breeze if they charge the half elves though, by keeping the rightmost troll
Yeah.
in arc, because if he doesn't, they'll just get him for free and then threaten the trolls and force them to turn around
Yeah,
anyway.
absolutely.
So he's and those dragons have the J boots on them as well. So there's no point
Right, yeah,
hanging
so no use.
around the obstacle.
One wonders how little shoesies on those dragons would actually make them navigate terrain better. I mean,
Easier landing.
Maybe they've got grip so they can get on walls a bit better or something. You know, who knows?
Might have to ask Sir Jesse himself.
Yes, the most successful manufacturer in Panathor of shoesies.
Little booties.
They do seem to have a good purchase rate, don't they?
Yeah,
They certainly do.
absolutely.
I mean, I think he's probably outclassed only by Macwa, who's laughing all his way to the bank. You know, he's
the alchemist.
Yeah. He's just like selling seeds so that more forests get spread out there. He's a big supporter of the Green Lady. And he's spread his investments well. His stands just going off the hook. Can't keep them on the shelf.
I just can't see this left side going well for Tas now.
No, I can't.
Like those Dracons could very well go through that Frostfang in a turn.
Yeah,
they could do. I think he kind of has to hope that they fluff it. I mean, what other option has he got? If he goes straight forwards, he probably could have got just out of arc because of the way they rotated. But then what? Not sure. Maybe straightforward was the better option.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of a blessing in disguise in that the rest of the elves are up to support, so he can move that Frostfang Lord across as well, so that if they do go into the Frostfangs, the Dragons are thinking, if I don't break him, I am going to get took off.
That's right. I think he's got us in the Lord.
There is just in range of the flank as well, I believe.
Oh, really? Has he missed that? I hate zooming in with Onion. Takes it off it. No, I think it's just out.
They had agreed it was just out.
Right, okay. And again, I'm not sure why he then pulled those back.
Yeah, that made that move possible, didn't it?
Yeah, there seems to be no reason
Maybe
to
he
pull them
wanted him to do it. Maybe he was mind games. Maybe he was like, send him left. Do it, Tas, I dare you.
It is splitting the army up again.
And like you said, if he'd pushed forward there, he would have been out of arc at the Dracons.
Yeah,
I think that was the play.
But moving left,
he has gone that way. He's got to support the Lord.
Because he's moved left, those Palace Guard can now move up effectively unopposed.
He was probably
you would never move them up when you had both Frostfang hordes looking at you. You would never have moved them up, or not safely. Whereas now that entire middle is unleashed, and there's quite a lot there. That Forest Guard troops not to be ignored.
No, that is a troop there too. Yep. For some reason, I thought that was terrain like in that within that.
I just It's okay. It'll just go straight over that wall. That wall's a regiment. Oh yeah. It looks like terrain.
I wonder if he thought that his two Frostfangs are too staggered that if he pushed forward, he wasn't enough of a threat to take anything off anyway.
Possibly.
Okay, cool, yeah. So he was just saying he's popped the X there on the dwarves to remind him that the token's there. He hasn't, in fact, destroyed his most secure token, which I thought he had for a second there.
Right, okay.
Which would have been, I think, total madness. But no, he's just...
he's going both left.
That's smart play. I don't know how many times I've, charged a unit and then been like, oh, shit, there was a token under them. I didn't notice that. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, let's be honest. But speaking of tools, what is that Lord on that Doom Badger going to do? I assume he's going straight back into the Dragon. He's not tempted to go after the Silver Breeze, which you can't see anyway, right?
They agreed he couldn't see.
If he disengages an inch, he might be able to, though.
I think they checked it and all agreed that they couldn't make it around.
Gee, that must have been close in that.
Yeah, I reckon it would have been, the angle must have just been just too wide.
Yeah.
1 inch just wasn't quite enough.
Rarely is it?
I mean, you have to have someone who's,
very good with it.
Not so choosy, I guess. Okay. The trolls are tiptoeing up to this objective. I mean, Tas does still control the objectives. If you can wear it out for long enough, 4 more turns of hoping that Paul doesn't roll too many sixes, you never know.
Yeah, and I think
it's too long to commit as well in the centre.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually think now that Taz has gone left with both units, he probably should have pushed forward with those Palace Guard, because that is a much bigger threat to Paul now, isn't it? With his Dracons, if he doesn't pop him, he's definitely dead.
But only with the Dracons. If he pushes the Palace Guard forward, as you say, and goes in with the Dracons, then he can be like, sure, kill my Dracons, and the Palace Guard are going to have you for breaking.
Yeah.
Which, maybe that's what he was looking to turn ahead at.
Perhaps so.
The next turn for Paul here actually does seem quite strong, doesn't it? If the Dracons charge and aren't even that worried about killing, because then all that middle can push really far forward.
Yeah, including the other regiments of Dracons, which becomes a massive threat if it's a flank row.
Yeah. And now the Badgers are in this tragic train situation and can't support one another very well. That Lord's, what's he even going to be able to charge if the Dracons don't go through it? Are they taller? No, they're not. They're not taller than the Frost Fang. They're both taller, aren't they?
Everything's
same height, same width. He won't be able to charge them. That's pretty painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he must have just been more gambling on them being dead.
I think he had to go straight forward there. That's going to be costly. Well, of course, he could have gone straight forward and got just as crumped. We don't know, but I guess we'll see.
So no shooting, so you don't destroy tokens now, Paul.
You can really feel the lack of shooting in this list, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
You can, especially with these lightning bolt guys. They're representing so much of that elven firepower, probably more than half of it in terms of damage output.
Oh, yeah.
And if he could threaten them with a couple of bolt throwers or something, hitting on fires with a lead or whatever, and if you get whacked with one, those blokes are leaving their feet. So, just not having any ranged firepower at all, even a single unit of Ice King Hunters or something to threaten them could make a really big difference here.
He's done
6 wounds out of 7 attacks.
Yeah, he's remembered he's on 8 attacks.
Yeah.
So you might even get another one out of this.
Yeah, Paul's reminded him, which is good play.
But imagine if you had a Snow Fox and a Blade of Flashing there.
Paul showing once again that the UK aren't as bad sports as they have the reputation to be. I mean, turns out some of them are nice
I resent that. I resent that.
The world once, and everyone thinks it's bad.
Oh, sorry, hang on. This is Kings of War, not cricket. My bad.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to tell you, you colonize the world once, and people hold it against you forever.
Never get over it.
Speaking of bad sports, I haven't seen Hildred comment in the chat at all. Where are you, Hildred? Where are you?
It must be. Say his name 3 times. Let's see if he appears.
So is he moving those trolls? So he hasn't moved those trolls on the far right at all. It's only just computed with me.
Oh, he hasn't wavered. It's hindered, isn't he? Looks like he was 1 shot of 2 shot of a waver.
Apparently he's asleep, but John, my man, is here. Hello, John. I love you, John. And your shiny head.
John, how do you know he's asleep?
We're having a sleepover.
His shiny head, Matt. That's the bloody pot calling the kettle black, isn't it?
Oh, I know. Darn, bro. I'm freshly polished for tonight.
I can't talk either.
Yeah, I was unpolished this morning. I've made a special effort for this game.
Excellent. Got the wax out.
So no tokens destroyed. And we're on to top of 3.
Yeah, I think that's wise not to destroy that one with the dwarfs on that left flank. He needs to keep Paul interested over there.
He can wait as long as possible as well there now. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, this charge is free. There's no reason not to do it. Yeah, so if he's not more than half on the hill, does that count as not a charge off the hill? As per
flyers don't get it anywhere.
That's true. Yeah, but if flyers with booties, surely they could have a run up before they.
You think so?
He didn't have to think long about that, did he? He's obviously been contemplating it while Tas has been moving.
Yeah. As soon as he saw the movie, he thought, "This is."
I mean, as you say, there's no reason not to do that. Even if they do die, there's no heal in the list. They're going to do a lot of damage, and you've a lot of shooting around.
It is interesting though that if his Lord survives, if Tas could jag another 6 wounds, there's a chance of taking him off. The dragon. which would make a big difference over there.
No, it would. I mean, taking 6 was a big hit there. Really, it does mean that even if the dragon kills the Fallen Frostfang, it means he's going to have to be a lot more careful now.
Just imagine if you had a bloody Snow Fox and a Blade of Slashing, you might have even got a cheeky waiver out of that. Who knows?
Really might. Yeah, so he's pushed up with 1 Palace Guard horde. I imagine the second one's also going to come forward, and that troop.
Yeah, they're actually stomping a mage at the moment. It would be pretty hilarious if we forgot about him for the rest of the battle. No, he's realised.
Well, there's some shade coming in the chat, Hugh, about an Aussie-only magic item, magic sandpaper. You ignore hindered.
Oh, that sounds useful.
I'd definitely be using that.
Surely to be +1 to hit from range or something, right?
I'd definitely blame it on receiving advice from someone else, though.
Can hit round corners, bend round corners. Oh, we're up to 21 viewers. Look at this, we're almost popular.
Oh, wow.
They must have heard the Aussies were on the cast and they thought, right.
It's a good job none of you were here earlier to see my incredible start of the stream.
Yeah.
Smooth. Don't worry about it.
Well, they pull out the big guns for the top tables, don't they?
Well, exactly. Yeah, this is. Hey, I'm back on tomorrow. Luckily, I'm only commentating tomorrow for Tom's game.
Yeah.
I'm being given no control of any buttons.
To be fair, you're barely hosting today.
Exactly.
They come for the Kings of War, but they come back for
I have now changed the
twice.
Actually, there hasn't even been much for us to check really in terms of arcs and things and distance, has there? It's all been pretty obvious.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
He moved up more cautious than I was expecting there, with the Palace Guard on the left.
Yeah,
it looks like he's trying to stay out of charge range of the Frostfangs.
I think he's probably trying to stay out of those rightmost half elves, is he? Because he doesn't want to get chaffed up by them. And
that range is a half elf and something.
Yeah, see. I'd be tempted to push the Forest Guard troop right up though, just to force the issue.
Is that mage in range of that half elf troop?
Nah, out as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, even out of 15, is he? Okay, that looks close. Just out. Yeah, right.
Actually, that's it's a good point. I always forget about Wild Charge.
Oh, it's the most important thing about those gits. Threat range of 15. They're basically the same as Frostfang. You have to roll the D3, of course, but the fact you get to roll it beforehand, I'd like it more.
What was it you had the Brewer Haste on them and then the Wild Charge Aura?
Yeah, so you're pushing right up to like speed 7, Wild Charge D3 +1. It's pretty cool.
Jeez. If you get Thunder Thighs, those ladies would be on like pogo sticks or something to be moving like that. I don't know why he didn't move the half elf. Those Silver Breeze on that far right flank are getting so much value by just sitting there. Because, I don't know. I would have been tempted to move up there because he's got to make something happen.
We've got to say goodnight to the world. Say bye-bye.
No, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Tas didn't move those trolls either last turn. Like I can understand holding off with the Berserkers and maybe just having a standoff and pushing it forward next turn, delaying that. But surely at least one of those hordes could have come back towards the middle.
Especially seeing as the king is mighty. So that king could charge the troop and you can move the cavalry regiment up safely then.
Yep. Which we may see.
Yeah, we might indeed.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. We don't tend to see a lot of mighty characters yet, do we? I wonder if we'll see a bit of a swing.
Mightiness doesn't necessarily matter a lot of the time, though, right? Because often the unit you really want to chaff up is the unit that you can charge. So as long as you get a wound in there, you can be only like fairly
But I suppose
feeble.
in this occasion, for example, if he charges and he kills the half-elf troop, then you really need mighty, don't you? Because then you're also chaffing the horde behind.
That's
At the
true.
same
That's
time.
true. It does seem quite unlikely that he would kill it, but you never know.
Is
It
he? What items has he got? Is he hitting on 2s?
He's got a crushing
He's got
mace, I think.
crushing mace. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the shard blade.
Half elf out of range.
Is that an expensive item? That hitting on 2s is a juicy little.
I think it's
No.
only 15. I think. It's fairly pricey for a 5 attack king.
Yeah.
You know, because
But it sounds really cool being melee to elite.
it does sound really cool, but it's probably one more hit sometimes.
Yeah, it's not all
Yeah, you've got to be charging pretty much every turn to get the value out of it.
that. Yeah.
So that turn you roll like 4 2s and a 3, you feel like a genius, right?
Yeah.
I think that's
Yep,
the
so that
thing buy with duelist or beast slayer just to bump it up to, really scare people.
Yeah. Right, so shooting. Been enchanting the dragons.
Boom.
Goes off.
He's really respecting that half elf troop there.
Yeah, although he has moved the forest guard troop up, which I like. Because that really is pushing the issue now, isn't it? That half elf almost has to charge them now.
Pretty much no choice.
Well, and that left Palace Horde too. You know, if he chooses to charge the Dracons next turn, it's going to be in range of whatever's there.
Yeah. Oh, 5 hits from the Silver Breeze. 1 damage.
That's all right then. Jesus.
Yeah.
The
second time now they've rolled 5 out of 7 hits.
I mean, if he does slaughter that Frostfang unit, I would be tempted to go in with the Lord and the other Frostfang to try to make it a sure thing regardless.
Yeah.
But then the ability to rotate the Lord and overrun the Frostfang might mean that they get out of arc or charge range. In fact, even once you align that Dwarf Lord, the Frostfang Lord with the Frostfang Regiment, I wouldn't be surprised if that Frostfang Regiment pokes just out of range of the Palace Guard. Be hard to tell.
Damage from the Archer Regiment onto the troop of half elves. And then there's still lightning to come.
Can he fail to kill one this time?
Well, I don't think it's inspired, is it? Unless the
Yeah,
is he very inspiring?
He's very inspiring. So they are.
Just has all the rules.
Lightning's doing some heavy lifting, isn't it, on these?
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
It is the perfect counter as lightning.
2s to win.
Something survived. Yay!
Yay!
Yay. And of course, Iron Resolve. Yeah. They just flex a peck and arrow pokes out. Falls to the ground. No dramas, they say.
All right. So where's he? So he's doing the dragon first on the Lord.
3s and 2s with all of the rerolls.
Ooh, not all. He's got too many 2s.
No.
Flashing though. Yeah.
That's what I mean. He only gets to reroll one of them.
So what's he done
6
there?
damage.
So he could survive. What is he? Is he
15,
15,
17?
17?
Yeah, he's a bit lower than usual, isn't he?
Yeah, so average roll is just there by B's dick, but wavered. Yep.
Is it?
No.
Hold on.
Yeah, 7 twice, right?
I gotta say that's a 19.
Oh, he's still good. He loves
big.
it. Ho-ho. He must be clutching that badger with those bloody knees pretty tight right now.
Taz is doing a booby dance right now, that's for sure. He's,
Now, if you're Taz, do you even hope that these Frostfang hold? Because if they do, what are all these other units even bloody do?
Yeah.
well, they're still not in range of the Palace Guard, and then they're effective, and he can just leave that Frostfang Horde there, I guess. So I think
What if he wavers them, though? That'd be a disaster, right? Are they the ones with Headstrong?
Yeah.
so 15 hits. What are we winning on? 2.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Big 2s. It's a lot of 1s.
So they could and again, Oh, double one.
Double one. Oh,
wow.
I don't even think that's that bad for Paul, to be honest.
No, I agree.
Not neither of those two units behind him can see the dragons. So
That's right.
Isn't that a good thing? Because now that unit's effectively dead anyway next turn, right? As in the Frostfangs. There are a chance of taking off the Dracons, and his Lord's a chance of taking off the Dragon, which then he's not going to lose his Lord or the other Frostfangs trying to take off the Dragons. The Dracons, sorry.
I suppose that's true. It's a delay of a turn, though. And
Yeah,
that is big.
yeah,
And
I
those
don't think
Frostfangs are still dead because you can just spray arrows in their general direction, you would think, and take them off later on, or a bit of lightning up the Jaxie. They'll be gone.
It's definitely a positive for Taz, but I don't think it's a game-changing double one.
No, not the worst double one I've ever seen, that's for sure.
They probably should have killed them on average, but you'd expect a waiver would have been a decent shot anyway with the headstrong. I think his best option his best outcome would have been a waiver and then a failed headstrong. Stop the other units coming behind to pick him up afterwards.
Yeah, I think it would have been. It would have been better for Taz if he had been moving those trolls back towards the middle now.
Yeah,
previously.
I think he's a turn behind doing that.
Then he had an option to threaten these Palace Guard with. I mean, he couldn't have moved the Frosty Friendos up that far as well, potentially, because that might give the trolls too much of a charge, although perhaps he didn't want to do that anyway.
So the thick elves are taking a charge into the
hippie elves.
We've got cold elves versus wood elves.
They would be cold, wouldn't they? Freezing their tits off, I imagine. But they're a bit crappy when they have to go through a pumpkin patch like that, though. Like they lose their Thunder Thigh charge and they go down to force to hit. Not great.
No.
Not inconceivable that they could flush.
He's rolling wild charge, but I don't think he's within. Unless he can throw the aura into them.
No, he hasn't got the aura anywhere. He needs a lot for that.
Oh, is it Lord? Is it not the thing?
Yeah. Things like rally, which is awesome.
Yes, it's awesome.
It is absolutely perfect.
I mean, there's no reason not to take that charge, I don't think, because they'll just die next turn to shooting anyway. You might as well try and do some damage. And also you're preventing, Forest Guard coming in, because Forest Guard into the flank of those hordes will do some real damage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's still 15 attacks, so isn't he? Is it they're 15, aren't they?
15, yeah.
He could roll like Paul's been rolling and shooting, and
3 or 4 damage away would be nice.
If this Lord on the left flank goes through the Dragon, though, which would need reasonable dice, but not that high, really, that could put him in a much better spot.
He's got a good shot at a wave, and that's as good a result as you can expect.
Should he? I guess he wouldn't take a double charge because then he's going to leave the Silver Breeze free to burn the token.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
If he pushes up in the Silver Breeze face, could he stop them going around him, though, if he pivoted his dwarves? Yeah,
that's what you want to do. That's what I used to do to Adam Padley with his 8 regiments of bloody goblin shooty men. Go stand right in front of me, right, you can't nimble around me here. You're going to have to back up or get charged. Charge me. That's all you can do. They're good, but they can only use the nimble thing to get around you if they're doing it on a charge. So if you just stand in front of them, they're screwed.
Yeah, they really should have worked on their dressage more so they could do one of those kind of maneuvers. I don't know how else that would be possible.
So I'm not sure what he's checking here.
It's that Frostfang Lord to be able to fit in that gap there without standing on if the brown bits counts as part of the terrain.
Okay. He's not charging anything. He's just standing there.
Seeing if he can squeeze in there. It has always struck me as a little odd in Kings of War. In fact, I used it in an earlier game today to my advantage. But how you're building, I see why they do it for simplicity, but using the footpath out the front of the cottage or the bloody, the coriander out the front or something like that, just completely impassable. There's no way that, warriors can get through it.
Yeah, it's easier to model on the tabletop, isn't it? Or you can say more on the tabletop. But I think for things like Universal Battle, it's just much easier to say the whole footprint is. It's a tower that's this exact shape.
Makes sense to play it that way, but it is a little weird.
So interestingly, Tas, how he's ducked in there, I guess that threatens the Dracons if they survive and the dragon if it survives. But it's no longer threatening the Palace Guard horde or the regiment in the forest.
It's just at a range of the dragon, so I think it's for picking up the dragons afterwards.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all right, I've got faith in the Frostfang Lord on the left. He can do it. Go on, be a hero.
Yeah, 10 wins on each. He has done well to. Always been fairly fortunate to keep them up.
They are
Never
a
mind.
lovely unit. I love them. They're probably the best thing in the Northern Alliance list.
Yeah,
Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
it's a shame that Mantic have gone and only released one miniature for the buggers, so they're all going in like exactly the same pose, which is a bit.
Yeah, I spent a good 3 or 4 hours reposing them all. I've swapped all the back, so I've got like a half elf on there. And I've got
Nice.
So I've got a half elf on there. I think I've got a dwarf on one. I've got a normal human dude, a normal human female on there. So it's a bit different then.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna find an undead model because screw undead. I'm gonna have I've turned the arm upside down so it looks like he's batting the undead up into the air.
Oh, right on. I must have a fair bit of modelling putty and whatever on that fur to keep him from, Yeah.
I've gone through a lot of green stuff. I did it with snow trolls as well. I've reposed all of them, so the amount of fur you've got to fill in.
Yeah, because they look like a barrel of monkeys, don't they? All doing this one.
Yeah. So I've spent ages at doing one, so he's much further over and he's things down, and I've changed all the weapons. I've put stuff on all the weapons. My God, cool. They are a nightmare to cut. Absolute nightmare.
Believe it.
Hugh, there's a request from the audience to do your horse impression again.
What, the horse impression? Oh, not bad.
Yeah. He said, Elliot just had the comment right over you as you did it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal stuff. What can I say? I'm a professional, Elliot. My services are relatively affordable. Elliot, I assume the check's in the mail. That's okay.
Oh, so Mike Adkins is making them all out for all of us, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get round to remaking Holy Grail, we'll get you in as Foliatis, yeah?
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Need a few coconuts, of course. So
did he sidestep those half elves? Yeah, he did on the right hand flank.
Yep.
He's still not.
He's still not moving the trolls.
No.
I would have been tempted to move those left trolls and then even just sidestep the right trolls so that they can stay near the objective or something.
I mean, I guess like you said a turn or so again though, Hugh, he's in charge of the majority of the tokens, including the 2.
That's right.
So maybe he just thinks he just hangs there and makes Paul come to him. He probably he's not going to get his troll shot off, regardless of how good his shooting is.
No, you wouldn't think so. So maybe that's a big brain play. Just force him to come to you and hope that your units keep surviving on 10 wounds and hold them up forever.
Oh, he rolled D3. He's still only hit twice.
No, any better.
Oh no.
Oh. Well, Snowfox wouldn't help you there.
Elite would.
Elite would. Elite definitely would.
Damn.
Okay, level 6.
Yeah, watch it. Watch it happen. 11 twice. It's happening. Go on.
Well, he could go a waiver would be handy.
That's
There we go.
There we go.
It's wavered.
Yeah. To be honest, that's as good as.
That's pretty much as good as. He can go in again next turn.
I mean, that's probably fair based off that roll.
Absolutely.
I would have been tempted to threaten with the Silver Breeze just in case that happened, but I guess that is winding the clock back a fair bit there.
No, they're not. Yeah, you're right.
Just out.
Do you take the shot there, maybe?
I think you've got to. I think
Yeah.
you've got when your dragon game picked up.
And maybe a lightning bolt.
And he hasn't blocked off those silver breeze at all,
No,
has he?
I think not moving those dwarves up next to them was probably a mistake there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's almost average there, 14.
10. There you go. That's what Frostfang do.
Yeah. So there's a chance that takes him to 11. What are they? 15, 17.
Yeah. There we go.
One.
That.
Yeah, no reroll.
Oh. Well, see, there we go. I think now
I mean,
when he
it's
pivots
probably about
around,
right,
I want
isn't
him to be out of 12, actually.
Mm.
When he pivots, he's going to be out of 12.
He is, yeah.
Yep, so he'll have a double charge on the Palace Guard, but he'll be taking a Drakon regiment in one of them, I would imagine.
I think he's just in.
Yeah, he's just in.
The line's
He
touching.
is too. Let's see if I can get a... Yeah, you'd have to call that in, wouldn't you?
Thank you, my love.
Yeah.
There you go. That's how you know it's love, gentlemen. They'd bring you brewskis.
Oh, I'm going to have to send out a text message for mine. if Florence still isn't going to bed.
Yeah, so I suppose he's done the best he can to rotate out of that range, but just hasn't quite been able to.
Yeah. I mean, do you take that charge? Because they're on 10 damage. You've got enough shooting to potentially wave or break them anywhere.
You'll shoot them
so,
off.
but you do need to get near that objective one of these days.
That's true, actually, yeah.
So shouldn't he have pivoted more to make the Palace Guard Horde hindered then, at least?
Yeah.
Probably, but who cares? They're on 10 wounds.
True.
I would have actually probably overrun them, just going, well, whether they hit the flank or the front doesn't really matter. If I move over to this side, then I can threaten that other objective and force him to actually commit to removing them, which I suppose he will anyway. I mean, you know that there's some lightning heading their way.
Yeah, he's done it now, just in case.
Oh, yeah, sure. If they double one as well, that means that he'll have the flank with the other unit. And you never know. It's a 1 in 18 with the bloody fearless reroll thing. Inspired reroll, sorry.
Oh, no, we're not quite.
So I've got to admit the half elves have been pretty disappointing so far. I had high hopes for them.
Yeah, it was a tough matchup here for them.
Plenty
of opportunity to shoot them.
Taz has been really worried about them because, I mean, he hasn't really come up against pot shooting all tournament, which really is the effective counter for them.
It's interesting that even though Taz was worried about it, he still ran them out in the front and didn't think to hide them back behind his unit.
Behind.
Yeah, running them behind the Snow Trolls and behind the Frostfang respectively might have been the play, possibly.
They make a good sweeper unit in that respect because obviously your Frostfang go into a Palace Guard Horde to do 11, 12 damage, then they die. And then the half elves go in, and actually 15 3s and 3s is going to put the Palace Guard in either kill or waver territory very easily.
Yeah, so he's wavered those Forest Guard. There you go, 6 wounds. Hindered. That's all right, isn't it?
Well, yeah. 15 attacks.
Yeah, it's not bad. Too bad about the route roll.
Yeah.
What's the nerve on those bad boys? Must be decent.
The Forest Guard.
10, 12 or 11, 13.
Must be 11, 13 because he rolled a 6. Yeah.
So not deleting any of the tokens.
How many times are you going in and out of the room, Elliot?
Quite a lot because I'm on my phone and it keeps freezing. I'm on it on my phone so I can zoom in and look at things, but it keeps freezing for some reason.
Technical issues, they plague us all.
Yeah.
And look, looks like Paul has actually deep struck in an extra horde of Palace Guard here.
I'm still wanting to one day, as a commentator, drop a unit in and see if they notice.
Yeah, I was thinking of making a little like goblin referee kind of thing, like doing it in black and white and just put it in the side and just move it around as it's going on.
What would be better is to be able to do it. You save it in another room so you can drop it in the corner. It's the dropping in the center that gives the dead away. So you need to load it like an army.
Yeah.
Just-
Occasionally drop a dragon.
or extra tokens. Why didn't you claim that token?
Yeah, I have like 500 made up as cheerleaders and dropping down either flank.
So we said that Lord on the left flank is in Arc of the Silver Breeze, did we?
I'll check.
Is he in Arc?
I
I
don't
feel like
think
he's
so.
not.
It's just
No.
out.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he would have to shoot.
Getting shaved by it.
That is troublesome.
Oh, I'd have so like them dwarfs who just pin them silver breeze in.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Tas was thinking there. I don't know if he thought he couldn't do it or whether he wanted, because you don't really need to threaten the dragon because he's lost his nimble.
Probably just didn't think of
So
it.
the
That's
dragon
fair
will
enough.
get around.
I may not
Yeah.
have in his spot.
So he's checking to see
I
if the
thought you were
king's in range of the trolls.
Yeah, a lot of
Um,
people think that. It's deceptive.
I think it's just out.
I would say out, yeah, but
The
I'm
blue
not sure I
line,
would like that charge anyway.
the blue line is like halfway between the blue line is actually 6 inch. Like if you, it's weird.
The more I just
Yeah.
see him chilling there, like 1 o'clock half struck, the more I think that actually maybe that's the play because, you know, that is a guaranteed objective that way. And it's a lot of points geese, but still.
I mean, it's guaranteed one there. The dwarf clansmen at the bottom are safe out there. There's not going to be a whole lot of shooting going on there for them. And there's the horde in the middle that he's, not doing a whole lot with at the minute. So, he's got quite a lot of safe tokens.
And he has bumped those snow trolls over just a little bit. I don't know if his intention was to make sure that they were the rightmost ones, that is, to make sure they were within 3 of that objective, or whether he wanted to get their front arc, their
I think it's
center point on that hill.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh.
I think he's not in range at the moment of the token. Oh, it depends where the token actually is. But I think it's time to burn that token.
I don't know.
What? No, what?
I know. I don't like that at all.
What's going on?
He's definitely still going to be able to get that charge.
What is this?
Yeah, I don't like that at all. 'Cause-
He was out of range of charging, I assume.
yeah, so he's going there to block, but
That's not going to work.
no, not at all. I mean, he's also getting flanked by the other one.
I think that's why the Palace Guard have moved up.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus he should go through those half elves and pivot to keep both in the front, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I think Snow Trolls will do it anyway. Snow Trolls are pretty much made for doing this, aren't they? Like that. So the Stormwind are not going to be able to do anything to the Snow Trolls. They're going to walk through them in 2 turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe he's realising that they're not doing a whole lot. If Taz is happy to sit on that point, then otherwise that Stormwind are going to do nothing, are they?
Well, you reach the point where you need to get kills. This is table 2. Like you need kills if you want to be able to push for podium or the win. Then you're going to need to pick up your points where you can. And then Stormwind sat at the back playing keep away. He's going to do nothing for his prospects. So why not?
It's also turn 4, and you need to get pushing on objectives.
Yeah,
it's a good point, Tom. I mean, what Taz said at the start is, really for him to have a chance of, like, if you shit the bed tomorrow, he needs a big win.
Yeah.
A small win's not good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, like if me and Mark have a KG game tomorrow and it's a draw or a small win either way, then it needs to be a small win. If it's a small win for Mark,
opportunity for a leapfrog.
Paul can leap him.
Yeah. So he's taking the charge. I suppose by doing that, you do free up your shooting to be able to shoot at the Lord on 10 damage.
Yeah.
So you also backed up the dragon. What do we think about that? I only just noticed that.
I think it's probably a good play. He's making sure he's out of range of the other Lord. I don't know. I guess he doesn't intend to head for that objective. So why not?
Because then Silver
Maybe he wants to draw. He probably wants to draw the Inspiring away from the Dwarf Regiment and keep shooting them, given that Tas didn't lock him down.
It would have been nice to have moved those dwarves, wouldn't it? Because Silver Breeze just
They'll do what they want now. Right?
Yeah.
Can you burn the objective when you're contesting it, or do you need to control it to burn it?
You need to control it.
Okay, so they can't just cheekily like chuck some Molotov cocktails on that bad boy and let it burn.
No.
Right? Which is
Sadly
good. That would be a bit cheeky.
Yeah, it would be a bit weird. If gargoyles could just fly over and delete things from underneath hordes.
Yeah, because gargoyles definitely aren't good enough already. So, what would a double one against that Frost Fang do to Paul's game here?
It would be good.
I know what it'd do to Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, a digital table flip would probably go down.
See, I like this. So, charging the Dracons in means that now they can not make it an easy follow-up charge for the Frostfangs
Indeed.
on the Palace Guard.
Because in the likely event they end up going into the front and not quite breaking them, then they're in deep shit, especially after the Palace Guard rotate. And having that Lord in there...
Forest Guard can just back up down and... Because there's no shooting, that Forest Guard troop can just back up and take that top objective now.
In hindsight, it's easy to say in hindsight, but squeezing that Lord in that gap was cute, but maybe not the most effective because...
No, I wasn't really sure what the point was.
Although it might prevent the Palace Guard from rotating as far as he liked because he might rotate into Arc. I'm not sure.
It's well out. Well out.
Yeah, well out.
Yeah, but after killing them, he could rotate into Arc if he, his ideal rotate, I think, might just B-stick get in there. Not sure.
Even then, I think it's still quite well out.
So Silver Breeze are shooting at the Frostfang Lord in cover.
Yeah.
Oh, just starting with the yeah. Why not start with your archers?
They can't shoot anything else anyway, really.
Yeah.
One reroll. No.
Hello.
It fails to wound.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You really just need one, don't you, for that waiver? But it's you still need the one.
That becomes really interesting if he can't shoot off the dwarves, as that Lord could keep going over to that token in the top left.
Oh, he's got two. So that should be a waiver now then.
Yeah.
So at this stage, you do you have your Silver Breeze carry on with the dwarves?
No. You might as well go for the kill, I think. You're not going to kill the dwarves anyway. And then the dwarves all have to do is turn around and you get in charge next turn anyway.
Yeah.
You tried actually stomping the unit with his unit, but that's not in the rules, so it didn't do anything at all. Ineffective.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So, Tom, you've played a fair bit of Northern Alliance. Do you find that the extra couple of pips of nerve on the Snow Trolls is enough to make them noticeably better than the regular Trolls? Because they do pay a few points for it.
I really. Well, you're getting Vicious as well.
And Vicious, of course, yeah.
You're combating both of normal Trolls' problems there, which is they're not quite hitty enough and they don't quite have enough nerve. But when you pair him with the Thane, with Rallying, and then you've got your Inspiring, you've got your Rally, you're pretty well covered. I always go Fury and Headstrong on them. But just you're up to, 16, 19 at that point? That's a hell of a lot of nerve. And every time you're adding a bit of nerve onto their region, you're making that region even more useful.
Of course, yeah.
It's a massive
regen
of normal Trolls to me.
Defense 5 high nerve regen units.
The first time in the Frostfang.
I really like them.
Here we go, the Lord. 7, dead.
7.
And it's dead.
8, got him.
So which that's now that flank to Paul, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see why he's moved that dragon back, because that means the dwarf don't have the option of charging him and then starting to head towards the topmost objective instead.
No, so I assume Tas really has to destroy that token, do you think, then now?
No, it's all right.
Or do you think give it to him?
Yeah,
I would destroy it now, personally, yeah.
if he turns and walks forward, he'll be out of sight of the dragon and in front of the Silver Breeze, so he forces the dragon
True.
to commit.
Yeah, or just back up. Yep.
You might as well force the dragon to commit at that point.
Yep.
Especially
So
if
wait
you
one
get
more
to.
turn.
Well, do you even move that way with the other Lord potentially?
Yeah, true.
You can't charge anything else, and that way you basically prevent the dragon from going for that objective.
So the Dracons have killed the half-elf troop.
All right.
Who would have thought?
No, don't like that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you got a
Don't
big issue there.
I don't like that at all. That's going to be very close whether or not they can.
Well, the Frosties can take them now, can't they? And then just keep going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
I really don't like that.
And they won't be in Ark of the Palace Guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't. That's a good point.
So the only thing would be if Paul's planning on not contesting that token and just shooting them down the bottom left, and whether he's going to turn his dragon back to start threatening the top.
Now,
but he's
doesn't
in
look
Ark of the
like-
other Palace Guard with that rotation.
he didn't need to rotate. So if he'd have just done a few degrees back, he'd be able to see the flank of the Frostfangs when they go into Palace Guard. But it doesn't look like they will now. The Dragon regiments are the. It looks like they can. It'll be close, but they might be able to sneak into that gap.
Yeah. So he's done that to cover. So that makes the Draken reform fine, doesn't it, though? How he's reformed those?
I don't know. I think you might be able to squeeze that horde into that gap. It'll be very close.
What you mean out of Ark? Get him out of Ark after hitting the Dracons?
If they charge the Palace Guard now, the Frostfang Horde, I'm not sure that Draken regiment can see them.
Oh, right. They'd have
I'm
to
with
take
you.
them off in one turn,
Yeah.
which I
Whereas
think is
before,
unlikely.
you had those Dracons, that were ready to flank that horde.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, you'd have to get pretty lucky to take them off in one turn.
Well, that's what I mean.
No, but that's the point. He doesn't need to necessarily because he's out of Ark of the Dracon Riders when he goes in.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
Possibly.
I don't know if he is. Yeah.
Maybe he won't be though. Looks close.
Yeah, it'll be close.
He might just
Pulls
be able
away
to see
from
his
the board.
backward
Maybe you can spawn that unit and check.
What's going on now?
Paul goes to the loo. Oh, so the cavalry didn't kill the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't see that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure yet if that's good or bad.
Did 8 damage, and then I think that's good. That's very good.
That's good. Yeah, it is. That means the trolls can't get him.
It's a flank, but
Trolls should kill him in the flank, right?
they should.
They'd
But
have
then
to-
there's the Dracons and Palace Guard who can deal with that.
They've got a Pip of Thunderous as well.
True.
Yeah, they should kill them easily there. But that's very good because it means that other troll horde is effectively just wedged in now.
Stuck.
Yeah. Well, I was
the-
thinking if the half elves died, your right side trolls go into the Stormwind, your more central trolls go into the Palace Guard, the central Frostfang go into the Draken, and then you move your Frostfang Lord around, and then you just put him just in front of the Palace Guard hall, so they can't get around, but they're still in the front, and then they're going to be hindered. That way you just pin everything in, and you've got your first shot.
And then you can just start grinding away and hope to do better on the dice, which you probably should do. I think you'd be favoured in that position. Yeah. That is.
But now we can't do that.
That's not going to be an option now, no. What's he thinking here? Move them backwards and...
Looking, I think, if he can get the multi-charge. Or is he... Oh, yeah, is he going for... Back up and sidestep? I don't see a way around that now.
Suddenly that elf prince being there seems kind of smart.
Yeah, it does. But I think that's the only situation where it would have been really smart. So either Paul's a genius, or it's he just fell well for him.
Well, what was
So he's
the
taken
downside
Dragon.
though? Like, because you wouldn't go in with the snow trolls anyway and hope to overrun into him. I would have thought you just dodge him, right? Like he couldn't do anything more effective than that. So
No, you're right.
I think it was turned out to be a smart move. Whether it was on purpose or not sure. But there you go. Million IQ, Paul. Cheeky devil.
Well, I mean, you can't really rely on cavalry to one shot a dash 15, dash 14 unit.
Yeah, inspired as well, yeah.
It's a nice contingency because if the trolls go into the king, there's no guarantee that the trolls will be able to get around him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
James,
that lord
the
is well out of
lord's out of
range.
range. Yeah, he's at about 18 inches.
Yep. Moving that lord back.
I think that elf troop surviving might have just screwed Taz's plans here.
Oddly, yeah.
Oh, so now we can check that Dracon arc.
Are those trolls in range of the?
You were right. He's
Yep.
he's out of arc of the Dracons there
He
with
is,
the Frosties. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So that's definitely the right move.
In range of the forest guard troop to the flank, though.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
It would have been
Yeah.
nice to be able to send that forest guard troop off.
Yeah, he'll
So-
be definitely hoping to roll up here.
Yeah, it's not impossible. 30 attacks gives you a bit of a ceiling. You know.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. 2/3
Well-
hits, and you're looking at 20 hits, and you're like, oh, actually, maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
we've always said when you're rolling more dice, you've got that option, haven't you, to spike?
Yeah.
Tell you what,
And
two
so when
objectives
you-
are on that side. There's only one in the middle. I would have been tempted to keep threatening the dragon with that lord then. I don't know if that's right or not, but
The one in the middle's worth 2, but yeah, it's
it is
interesting.
two. Yep.
It's interesting
only
that he's
worth-
choosing
It's
to
only
threaten
worth 2
here.
for the bonus points, though, isn't it? It's not worth 2 for scenario.
Isn't it?
I think so. Might be wrong.
There's one scenario where it's worth 2, even several. I don't know. Seems to be one thing I have trouble keeping track of is remembering all the different
You
scenarios.
Northern Kings changing everything all the time.
Yeah, sneaky. Well, we only did it because it's so easy to score very few bonus points on the scenario.
Okay, but this seems like a cool move. He's limiting the Palace Guard's options if they survive, and he's threatening. I presume is he in range there of the archers?
Yeah. So I like that
he
move a
would
lot.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, that is
And he's also out of
better than
Dragon
what I would have done.
Arc a long way, and yeah, that. It does look though that I think you can just back up 3 and get
Oh.
out.
Steve Devonish has just said it's only worth 1 for scenario.
Yeah.
Right. Still, the fact remains there are 0 elf-controlled objectives at the moment, so it's
Yeah.
still anyone's game.
Yeah, maybe that top one, or is he? No, he's out of 3 even in there.
Yeah.
And if he sends that forest guard in there, that is a real cost because it means he needs to use another unit to go back and get that objective. Again, having absolutely no shooting on Taz's side of the board means that he just can't threaten that crappy little troop that's going to get a guaranteed point pretty much if he doesn't.
I don't think I would send the troop in. I think I would just Bane chant and hope for the best with the Palace Guard horde.
So would I. I'd be moonwalking with those forest blokes, no dramas.
They're already on 3 damage from shooting, so there's a fairly good chance that that Palace Guard should one-shot them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or at
I
least
think, yeah.
Waver, as we say. Or they're Fury, so Waver's not going to do it.
I think you got to completely rely on just wait to see how much damage Palace Guard do, and then decide from there.
Mhm.
Sorry, the
Was
Frost
he-
Bank do.
What does he do with the dwarves here? I guess nothing, right? Like,
Well, he's got to get out of the forest. Are you talking about the
Yeah,
bottom
he
left
has
one?
no, I think he needs to be not.
to range of the Dracons. I mean, I don't think that really matters because it'd be a front charge, but
He wants the dragon to be hindered when he goes into the front, I guess. But
But actually, is that even a forest or is that a field?
it's a swampy thing.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
swamp.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Nah, it's a swamp, so he can be seen regardless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never mind then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, height 0. It's got these little red height indicators on the bits of terrain in this one,
Snow Trolls taking the flank.
as you'd expect.
That
Really
should
had
be a
no
very,
other
very
option
dead.
there. Were they in range of the Palace Guard? I don't know if they were. It looked close to me. Guess we'll never know now.
Because what are they? Speed 5?
6, I think.
6, yeah.
Yeah, you'd imagine they would have been close.
Yeah, I reckon it might have been just in.
So do you charge the
Half-elf.
king with the Troll Horde then? Just to get rid of that annoyance? Yeah. Charge it, man.
It might as well. Yeah, they're not doing anything else, right?
Another comment there from the objectives in Paul's deployment zone look a bit exposed with the Frostfang Lord there now.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah,
Frostfang
yeah.
Lord, actually, all of a sudden
That's
it has
right.
changed
That
feel
puts
of the game.
a lot of pressure on Paul's mental faculties there. What do we got? 2 more turns, so Taz could go into the archers, or even not into the archers if they back up. Almost doesn't matter. Just run, just leg it over there and threaten it on turn 6. And you can threaten both of them this way, which is potentially juicy.
So I think they're questioning Thunderous Charge. It doesn't look to me like it's 50% on the hill there. I think it was Paul that was saying he was.
Yeah. I just wondered whether Paul might have thought Taz was talking about the flanking one.
I think Paul's arguing for the Trolls to be more powerful.
Yeah. What's the nerve on the king? Someone got the list up there?
13, 15, I think.
13.
So
Yeah,
he's unlikely to go him in one turn, isn't he? Hitting on 4s.
Yeah, he is.
It's crushed too vicious though. See,
It's pretty dicey.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're vicious. Okay.
I think on
Yeah.
average they get him, but if a bit under average and he'll stick around.
Yeah.
He is inspired. He's inspirational to himself, of course.
Yeah, he's very, very pleased with himself.
Yeah.
It's like,
Do you
it's like-
inspire yourself, Hugh?
I do actually, yeah.
okay,
It's a high value, but my inspiring range is only 0 inches most of the time, which is sad. That's what she said, right? Woo!
Yeah. I was thinking that. I was debating whether to say it.
Oh well, I'll take the low road, shall I? You can. The other thing this does is that if the Lord, whether he dies or not, those trolls are not going to have their center point on that hill, and that might end up hindering them a bit.
Yeah. So now that we know that's a swamp, should Taz
Yeah.
destroy it? The token. Because the problem is I guess if he doesn't destroy it, then he's still got to go into them, right? Whereas if he destroys it, then you just ignore those dwarf unit and
Exactly, yeah.
piss the dragon off somewhere else.
I think you've got to play for the win because it's table 2. So you leave it there and you force the dragon to commit.
Yeah.
Hope you survive and then burn the token.
Yep.
Because they're
You've
what,
got
D5?
Fury. If you survive, you sit the dragon down for another turn with Fury, and then that.
Trolls have done 8 damage to the king. And a 7, so that kills him.
So it kills him.
There you go.
And a 7 again.
Cream down.
Yeah, very good.
What's he going to do with the reform here? Because the reform he won't be able to see over the hill.
No, I think you just have to just be there hoping to
Just
get a body on that
rotate
token, don't you?
He's just got his lead point off the hill there, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been tempted
Should he
to
have
rotate
slid?
it a little less than that, so you can see a bit more, since you can't see over the hill.
He might have been better off going D3 sideways.
Because they're monstrous infantry rather than large infantry. Are they height 4? Or are they're still 3, right?
Still
I
3.
don't know.
Still 3. It's
Because the Abyssal Golems are height 4, aren't they?
Abyssal Golems that do that.
Right.
Yeah, I certainly think he should have probably slid there.
So
Yeah,
half-elves to
D3
two-
sideways might have been the play there.
Yeah.
But that might have... Is there a chance that could have brought the Dracons into their flank? Probably, maybe.
Don't do it.
Shouldn't have really. I don't
Even
think.
with 3 inches? No, probably
Yeah.
not quite. Close
No.
there. There's only an inch in it.
And it would have probably given him arc on the Palace Guard next turn still.
17 damage from the Trolls.
Yeah,
18 damage from the Trolls.
that is...
Well, he's
I think
forgot his.
I don't think it matters. at this stage. But... Yeah, dead.
So what do you? So we're at the bottom of 4 now. Oh, actually, we've still got the Frosties to go before I ask this question. I reckon.
Yeah, I think
if
that's
they
gonna
roll up,
maybe
it's a
determine
different.
my answer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Does
that
protect the
half
half
elves
elves there.
are on the hill and the trolls in front aren't, so they're going to be a prime lightning bolt target this turn.
Very good point. Yes, they are going to be dancing the bloody thunderbolt jig, I would think.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, these frosty fangs slice and dice the Palace Guard, then they might be tempted to go for them.
That's going to be massive, isn't it?
Yeah, if the Palace Guard die, it's a completely different game.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's scrapped out well, has Taz, actually. We were a bit pessimistic on the poor Tazzy in some of these early turns, but he's doing bloody well.
I tell you what, he's been playing this game all tournament, and he's really getting good with it, in terms of being able to pull things back. But I think he might have just taken a break to go outside and pray.
Yeah, it's probably fair to disclose at this point that Taz was telling us just before we started recording that he's run this game 3 times in practice and lost them all. Yeah. So he's the underdog here, boys. Don't make no mistake.
He's hit on the nose, 15 hits. It'll be 2s, won't it?
Yeah. 11. It should be absolutely fine. 22, 24.
Unless he boxcars them.
Even boxcars is only a waiver.
Yeah,
that's how high that goddamn nerve is. Yeah, no, they love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Staying stone as well, aren't they? Oh, no, that's the other one.
That's the other one, I think, yeah.
So what's he going to get? He's going to get the counter charge and a flank from the Forest Guard. That'll be the Forest Guard have part.
I wouldn't send in those Forest Guard if I was in.
Yeah, I'd back up and hold that token.
So Taz is likely surviving that next turn again, right?
So well, he's already done 3 damage, so it should kill him.
What's our predictions from here?
It's going to be a bit of a mess on the right flank because I think the Palace Guard and the Dracons will both go in.
Those trolls are history most likely, but then he's still got 2 units to follow up
on the troop, which might then finish that one off. So you might be left with a horde of trolls facing down Palace Guard and Dracons, which isn't ideal.
So at this stage, we've got probably 1 definite token to Taz. I can't see. Well, maybe on turn 6 or 7 that bottom middle becomes.
Yeah, if it
Paul.
goes to 7, he could threaten it. I don't see him threatening it even on 6, though. Really.
Taz is asking. I don't know.
It's bottom of 4.
Can we answer him on that?
Yeah, you can answer him on that one, I think.
That's wishful thinking right there. That's a good Australian optimism. If it was the bottom of 5, I would actually be back in Taz right now. But given that it is the bottom of 4, I'd be tempted to still my money's on the elves at this stage. It doesn't look like a clean sweep on either side, though. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. I think it's going to get messy on that right flank. And a lot's going to decide on that one, and a lot will decide on whether or not you can kill this Frostfang horde.
Yeah. I'm just going to put it out there to Mike for when he watches this back, Mike, because I know you will. This is the commentary dream team for sure. Fire everyone else.
As long as somebody else hosts, I'm happily commentating.
Maybe not the technical dream team.
Yeah, true.
Didn't say anything about technical dream team.
Can you claim job seeker if you get sacked from this? Can you get the government handout?
Yeah.
In that case, sack away.
It's paid more.
Yeah.
Taz is just saying he's deciding at the minute whether he's burning tokens or not.
This is a difficult decision.
I think that you keep the one on the bottom left. I think
I've been in favour of keeping it up until now, but now I'd be tempted to burn it. What about the centre one though? What about this?
I was
Because would you double charge at the bottom left?
Yes.
Because if
Yeah.
he double charges, then he's all of a sudden lost that token. Oh, he's burning the centre back.
Interesting.
We'll have to ask him about that later.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
His centre back. You're kidding. No way. Don't burn that one, mate. Either
that
of the
was
other
his
two.
safest one, in my opinion.
Shiver
The
me
only
timbers.
one that I don't agree with you. I can see an argument for every other one.
No,
Change
he's
mind.
changed his mind.
Oh, he's changed his mind.
Oh,
He heard us.
oh.
Jeez.
But what about the left? I'd be getting rid of the left, I think. But,
I would be awfully tempted to burn that middle one because how on
you
earth
can't.
is he claiming that?
You can't burn
Is
the
he-
middle
Yeah,
one.
Can't the middle one has to.
As in
right, yep.
in the rules.
That's not in
Yeah.
the rules.
Yeah.
Goddamn rules.
God
I'd
damn.
like-
So he's kept them all. I think keeping them all is the right call there.
I would have been tempted to burn bottom left, but you're right that does mean that you can just leave the dwarves alone. But he's guaranteed. He's almost guaranteed that objective now, right? Even if he doesn't go through him in a turn, the Silver Breeze will get that objective at the end of the game. You
I
would
think
think.
he is guaranteed it, but I think for a 300-point dragon being forced to chase after a regiment of dwarves is worth it.
Maybe
Yeah,
you're right.
I actually. So what this is top of 5. So Paul
Yep.
will get a 6. Yeah. So there's a chance that Taz has to burn that centre back on end of 6, but that's it.
And imagine if the dragon and Silver Breeze goes in, he somehow holds. I mean, they are D5. They are high nerve. It's not impossible. The dragon will be hindered. It's like if
Yeah.
the Silver
And then
Silver
he-
Breeze fluff their dice, it's possible.
Which they haven't so far this game. So far they've been.
Yeah.
No.
But you're right. If he holds and then he deletes it, and then you
And then he deletes it, then that's,
you
you
hold
know.
them up and you deleted the token.
Poquena
Would you be
Los Dos,
double-
that's bloody, that's celebrate with a burrito kind of moment, that one, for sure.
Would
So
you
he's moving
be
the page,
double
like, slightly
charging now, or would you be getting those Silver Breeze off towards the dwarf in the bottom centre?
I would double
I'd
charge.
double
I don't think you've got
charge.
enough turns left to.
I don't think you can
And then-
rely on the dragon to go through them.
No,
Yeah, I
definitely.
agree.
But in
definitely.
2 turns?
2 turns, though. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But the thing
then-
is, the
then-
dragon
then
could
it's
die on a
broken.
counter charge. He's on 8 wounds. Like,
Oh, yeah, true. He is on 8 wins. It
You don't want
just
him
take a little bit of
counter-charging.
luck.
Yeah. So Paul spotted the shot on the half elves.
not even that much. Like,
Just
3
it's
wounds. Roll us 7 or 8, take him off.
I've had enough of this bullying half elves now. It's got to stop.
I think it's the pretty obvious target when you've got lightning bolt 8.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve's finally here. He's missed our trash talking of him earlier in the game. You'll have to watch this back,
He
Steve.
said his name 3 times. He appears.
Yeah. I agree, Steve. I'm not sure why he was so good looking. He just seems to have it all.
Yeah, it's a cruel world. What can I say? Tell you what, this
decided by
webcam
players,
makes
but-
me look super pale, though.
Height 3.
I know.
It's
I
the
was
Southern
thinking that.
Alliance down here in the
Yeah.
cold white south.
Yeah.
Well, it would
I'm
be
almost
colder here
done.
than it would be in Britain right now, I would assume.
Mm.
It's frosty.
It's about 15 here today.
Oh, it's about 2 degrees where I am.
If you're a Geordie, this is like beach weather, bikini weather. If you're a Londoner, it's still big coat time. So
To be fair, we are going to a barbecue later.
Yeah.
Rain or not. Because we're allowed to now, damn it, with 6 of us.
one in each corner, just shouting at
Because
each other.
coronavirus can't transmit between 6 people. apparently.
Isn't that what the Northern Kings do anyway? Just get one in each corner and shout at each other?
I don't even know what it means, but yes. So he's gone for the double charge. I think that's the right move. The dragon's not guaranteed to do it, and the Silver Breeze should do 1 or 2 just to tip the odds in favour. Heck, if he doesn't do it, that's perfect there, really, isn't it? That's a lot of points invested in doing nothing, really.
Yeah,
That's
if he
what-
fluffs
that's what I-
that, that's going to be big.
Suggesting it takes 2 units out of the game for 2 turns if you didn't die, and you get to break the token anyway because units on 3.
Yeah.
It's
He's
risky.
wisely-
It's really risky, but I think you got to play big now.
Yeah.
He's wisely
So-
moved those archers back to avoid the charge from the Lord there. And the Lord, what do you do with the Lord at this point next turn? Let's say obviously if the Palace Guard don't go through, you charge the rear, no questions asked. But if they do, then do you just continue towards an objective and threaten it on turn 6? I'd be tempted to say you would.
Do you go in the rear though? Because
Yeah.
that archer regiment is going to pivot and take a token last turn. Do you
But-
need to move up and threaten it instead?
Your dwarf
sure it
bottom are going to hold the centre bottom, and you need that dwarf, the Lord and the Frostman, to take the centre objective because there's nothing else there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
But if they go through the Frostfang this turn, I wouldn't expect the dwarf to be able to take the Frostfang Lord to be able to take them out on 11 wounds. He's only got 8 attacks. He forgot his Snow Fox. He's not packing a blade. It'll take a while to gobble through him.
If he gets a waiver, though, it's good enough. On turn 5, a waiver, turn 6, killing over him.
Paul hates half elves, doesn't he? God, what an asshole!
And his bin chant on the Palace Guard, they really should go through that hard now in one go.
I can imagine his big pointy-eared elitism just being like, get those dirty bastards.
Yeah, Pierre Brenzo.
They're tainted.
I said
They're not even wearing any armor.
This is archers at something.
So if those frosty teas,
Half are dead.
yeah, the half elves are dead. If the frosty teas get roasted, and then the dracons go D3 back, they can't be charged by the frost elves or by the other frost trolls. I reckon he's going to be forced to go on the Palace Guard horde.
Oh, you can see over the hill, yeah, of course, because they're large calf.
Ah, of course, yep, you're right. I'll take it back.
And you send your little pokey little Thane there into the Palace Guard to hold them up and disorder them. You're like, yeah, go on, have it, Thane, go on.
With one attack.
Okay. Here we go. 5s and 5s from the
You've got 3
from the
attacks.
Silver Breeze.
Oh,
5
naturally
hits.
he gets 9 hits. Oh, no, there are 5s out there.
No, 2 wounds.
2 wounds there.
And now
Oh, they got
the
thunderous
dragon.
nothing, those guys.
Yeah, no thunderous.
Yeah, they're not elite in combat anymore either.
Got
No.
their spears.
Ooh.
Oh, one
Oh,
hit.
look at that dragon.
Oh,
That was some
There
potato.
we go.
oh, there was elite. Yeah, right.
Jesus, elite.
And slashing.
No, he says.
So
Oh, yeah,
goes to 5 hits.
Don't despair, my boy Taz. It's all that matters is the nerve roll, as we always say.
But still, it's only 3 more.
3 more. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's a good chance. Oh, there's
7.
nothing to inspire him though, is
But
there?
7
So he needs a
altogether.
9.
It's not.
He's a
So
very good
7.
chance here.
So that's wavered.
He loves it. He's stoked with Wavered.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot of points.
Are the
That
Northern
is
Alliance ones headstrong?
fantastic result for Straya.
Perfect.
And that objective is going down like a sack of shit next turn. No questions.
Are the Dwarfs
Don't
Fury?
forget.
Yes, they do. They got
So
Fury.
They've
they could
headstrong,
also
don't they?
they could kill a
Fury,
Silver
is
Breach
it?
as well on their way
Oh,
down.
headstrong. Fury.
Yeah, right.
They're angry.
So the dragon could die as well.
Oh, yeah.
God,
'cause
imagine if he took off.
At
Imagine if he took off the dragon and burned that objective, and then just rotated to face the Silver.
that point, you even want to chance it. You just want to take the dragon off and turn face, and then not burn the token, and be like, "Go on then, go on then."
Ooh, good
I
point.
would go for this. I'd go for the Silver Breeze personally. You've got a more chance of doing something.
Really?
I'd try and pick the dragon up, and then turn to the Silver Breeze. And I
Mate,
might
this
even
is
keep
table
the token.
2. As Tom says,
Yeah.
this is table 2. It's no guts,
Yeah.
no glory. It's balls to the wall here.
Do it. Have them.
Yes, you can burn the token while wavered because you still control it.
Go on, you tiny little bastards. Have them. Keep for the half elves.
He does control it too, doesn't he? Because he's put his dwarven butt in the way of that dragon. So total
So
unit
doing
strength.
9 damage. Yeah,
Sorry, it would only be
yeah.
2 anyway. It's 115 point bloody unit strength 3 unit.
So the
It's
snow
doing-
shoal
it's
will
doing
go on
bloody
the right hand side.
Oof. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so
I'm guessing it's
interestingly,
Unit and 4 on the
yeah, but he's just pivoted it out of range of the
How's he
token.
pivoted out of range? I don't like that at all.
So take off the dragons and burn the
Oh, but
token.
he can't see it.
Oh,
Oh,
he
yeah,
can't
he
either.
does.
Can he?
But like
No.
I say, he doesn't need to, does he? He just needs to charge the dragons.
Yes.
You
Yep.
put
And
your
then burn
thing-
the token.
Put your
And
thing
burn the
into the Palace Guard because you've got 3 attacks, melee 3, crush 2, so you'll do a damage, which means they can't.
There we go.
And then
Yeah,
you've got
so he just pivoted himself back in range of the token.
It depends on the result of the charge, because if you charge the dracons and kill them, then I think you don't burn the token. You rotate and you hope for the best, because
Palace Guard back in range anyway. So
that
they're-
bottom
they're-
left Oh,
They're
you do.
How many?
Okay.
Yeah. So how many attacks does the Thane have? 3, did you say? So what put him into the Palace Guard?
Yeah.
Yep.
For all the marbles, go for it.
Yeah, he's shuffled them so the Palace Guard are still just clipping that token, and then their unit for 4, and
Good
they
play.
can't
Good play.
control. So he's
So
Clever of him to think of that.
he also backed up the Forest Guard last turn. They're now touching that token, controlling that
Wisely
token.
so. Gee, I bet he wishes he just had anything like just one dude with the. If that unit of dwarves down in the middle had the bloody 5-point longbow, imagine how good that'd be here. I mean, you don't say that very often, do you? But that bow would be great.
You said, didn't you? You said at the start just how powerful that plink shooting is, especially against for stuff
You
like
need
this.
the ability to reach out and touch when those units survive when they shouldn't, and you get a double one or something goes down. You need the ability to just plot one wound somewhere reliably.
Just.
So what are they? 17, 15, 17.
Yeah, and it was a 13 damage on them in total.
That's
He does. You're already on 13. He's just looking at the 10. He's not looking. Really. Well, that shows what that lightning bolt did earlier on.
That's pretty much game now, isn't it?
That lightning bolt earlier, he had the fury as well. He really did have a way of coming back there.
Yeah.
So objectives. I mean, Paul's pretty much got the one on the right now. Sadly, the trolls were too indecisive to hold that one.
Yeah.
You can blame them. Probably, you'd expect Taz would have the middle one. He's going to burn that left one, or else he's a crazy man.
Oh yeah.
So that's one each, really. It's just Paul holding the center.
I think
he's holding the. Yeah, no, he's holding both back ones, really, isn't he, as well?
Yeah. No, you just got to go for it. You got to hope the dwarf take out the dragon, then don't burn it, and then look at Silver Bees like, go on, then I'll have this objective.
Yeah, but if you don't take out the dragon in that likely event, then you have to burn it, right? Like,
Yeah.
But actually, does it? I think you don't burn it now, do you? Because you don't win either way, do you? If you don't hold that one.
I guess wait and see what you do to the dragon.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, because you can see first, can't you?
So what do you think he does with the? What does he do with the Thane now?
That's
the Lord on Crossfang.
The Lord, yeah.
He's got to bugger off and just try and get a token, doesn't he?
I'd go for the Palace Guard. Why not?
Would you?
Yeah, well, you're not going to get through the archers. The archers are just as hard to kill as the Palace Guard are there. Actually, they're harder to kill.
True, and if he gets through them, then he's got the middle token, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think you've got to.
At the end of 6.
Yeah, I think you go for them. The Palace Guard aren't going to be counter-charging. They're just going to be sidestepping.
Yeah.
Unless they try and kill him in one, which they can definitely do, and then use the reform sidestep to hold the middle.
But what if they roll a 1 on the reform sidestep? They'll be out.
Yeah.
He's about 4.5 inches away.
Yep.
Does it matter?
Gee, that'll be a heartbreaker.
3.
Yeah, it does there. He's more than an inch away. So,
yeah, you're right. You got to go for the Palace Guard now, sadly. But
he's still got to burn the
did well
bottom
to
token,
position
though,
him to
doesn't
give
he?
him those options. At least he did give him options, but don't know if it'll be enough. Really, though, the 460 points spent on those half elves just gave those wizards target practice, really, didn't it? I mean, yeah.
They've so far this game they've wavered a troop of chaff. That's all they've really achieved, haven't they?
It's a shame. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
the
having
dwarves
said
are the
that, when they're
unsung
shooting at
heroes.
them, they're not shooting at anything
Absolutely,
else.
115 point dwarf regiment.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
They're a good unit. As long as you don't want them to actually attack anything.
Yeah, so he's gone for the dragon with the counter charge.
Go on, have him.
Furious counter charge into the dragon.
Paul's
Yeah,
deep.
and he's
Come on,
gone
Dorfies.
into the Palace Guard with the Thane.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, because why not? I mean, apart from the kill, overrun, flank, and death, but you know.
What's the best case scenario here for Taz then? He goes through the dragon and the Palace Guard. and potentially claims those 2 objectives. And then what?
Well,
But
Tas
does
is
he
hoping
claim
he
the
does a
two-
wound on the Palace Guard, I'd say, and then turn 6, hoping to come off the hill with the trolls and get really lucky. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? You might get a turn 7 and kill them.
Yeah, stranger things have happened.
Well, exactly. It's only the bottom of 5.
Got to
He's
play
going
for
to
that.
He's going to need some pretty handsome dice rolls.
He also really wants to take that dragon off.
Is it likely to do it though?
I think
6
it's
hits,
less likely than likely.
2 damage. Even if he does, takes up to 10. It's
9 twice.
yeah.
Well, if you get a bit lucky and you do 4 damage, which is
It's in the realm, either way.
then you're
Oh,
looking at 7 twice, which is good odds.
he's talking
Yeah,
about the frosty end of the mage.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
Yeah, it was an option, but
No.
what does that really achieve?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Bugger all.
It prevents the elf regiment, the bowman regiment, from being able to make a run for that token.
I guess his intention here is that he's hoping for a turn 7. He goes through the mage, and then he goes towards the forest guard and beats them up, and takes their objective, takes their
the
lunch
palace
money
guard,
as well.
If he spins around, it stops the palace guard being able to potentially even get onto that token full stop, because they might have to do a full 360 to look at him.
I thought that he doesn't even kill the mage on average.
No.
It's inspiring. You're looking at, 5 damage, and then it's 11, 13 anyway, so...
Yeah, 11-13 inspiring, man. It's deceptive how tenacious those elf mages can be. Really a lot of belief in themselves.
They're not the Northern Alliance ones that have got ensnare as well. They're a real pain to kill.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing. That's cool.
Self-inspiring and ensnare.
She's a great model too, with the whole
Let it go.
magic maneuver. Yeah, that's right.
It's been a good game, though. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It has been a good game, but every time I watch these games with Paul, I always think those Palace Guard hordes are going to get nowhere, and then it's moved across the board and is now they go faster than I think.
Yeah. I keep thinking that Tas is just out of the game, and then you're lucky you think, actually, you can do this. Actually, you can do this. There's little bits and bobs here. He's always got a bit of an option to come back.
He's definitely scrapped it out well. I think he's thought about his moves really well, and he's even done some things that the 4 of us sort of thought maybe he shouldn't have.
Okay, what's he winning on?
This is the
5?
dwarves.
3 more?
Yep.
Go, you dwarves.
11. So he needs an 8 twice.
Ooh, that seems doable. Go. Yes, there's one. There's one. One more.
Not even wavered. He's got to burn it now. He's got to burn it.
Yeah. But you don't need to kill it really. Obviously, it would have been lovely to kill it, but it was powerful enough, wasn't it? The ability to waver, hold those units up, do a bit more damage, and burn the token.
Yeah.
As you said,
he just can't catch a brace. He's given himself every chance to sort of
roll
well and get victory from the jaws of defeat, but he hasn't got any kind of really lucky spikes to help him out just yet.
Isn't the beauty of a dice game where you can get, say, pumped up over one roll?
8 hits, 7. So that should be a dead mage.
Very easily not. Oh.
Just.
And again, it's got the
That's
talisman.
The talisman.
Oh,
Frick. He can't catch a break.
Not even wavered.
Bloody talisman.
The Palace Guard instead, though.
Yeah.
19
just think.
damage, 22 for
Yeah, that would have been
wavered.
That mage is flashing that bling like there's no tomorrow. He's probably thinking, thank God I unbuttoned my shirt before this battle. I can show that bad boy off. Because it's given me just what I need to stick around when the going got tough.
Silky elf flesh.
And now we can just book it out around the side of that badger and survive as well, just to add insult to injury. What a jerk.
So 2 wounds.
Yeah,
on the
you're
Palace
right
Guard.
though, Tom. Those 7 wounds on the Palace Guard is a completely different story.
And yeah, all good. Should this pick up the Dracons? Probably But they're not inspired, are they?
Score 14 as well. I mean,
Yeah.
the Trolls picked up the King who was inspiring, so there's no reason why they can't do the Dragons in.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking at about 7 damage, aren't you?
Yeah. On average, I think, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I tell you what, he's 4+. He's pretty much rolled on the money every time with his hit rolls, hasn't he? Right down the centre.
Look at that.
7 wounds.
Called it.
Bob on.
Good math.
Yeah.
Yeah, get off the board.
Get out of here. Get out of here, you big old budgies. Should have worn shoes. That'll learn you. Right.
I play both armies, so I haven't really got a favourite in this, but I'm feeling after the amount of hatred towards the half elves, I'm leaning towards the lines now.
Hang on, surely you want the Brit to win.
So James in the chat is calling on Nick to do a 12 million roll test on UB dice when you change from D3s to D6s. he said in his experience that when you change from D3s to 6s, it rolls bad. So,
Well, nothing says evidence like anecdotal nonsense. 7 wounds. So 7 wounds on those Palace bad boys. If he'd gone into them, hypothetically speaking, same nerve rolls, they still would have been fine because of that 3 on the second roll, which was a bit of a potato.
well, that would have been 21. That's
yeah,
weighted,
but
isn't
they're
it?
22, 24.
Oh, they're 22, 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, a bad roll's a bad roll, no matter what you're going to do, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, if he survives the counter charge, then he goes through them for sure, right? Yeah, he needed a bit of luck, Taz, to get himself back into this, and it hasn't happened.
Taz probably maybe should have backed up with those trolls rather than reforming. Get him further away from the overrun on the Thane. Yeah, like that.
I think he was in a space where if he over and he'd have gone past the Palace Guard there and he'd be in range for a turn 6 threat on the centre. That might have been a better option. Because
He needed a pretty big overrun, right? Like,
but you've got to play for it, aren't you? Like, you're playing for turn 7 anyway, so...
So at the moment,
you're right.
Taz has 2 tokens if he doesn't burn one, and Paul has 1.
Yeah, but those two...
Paul
those two
technically controls the one under the trolls, doesn't he? Because he's unit strength 4. So it's 2 each.
And Paul's guaranteed that at the end of 6, he's going to have those 2 in his back line. And that central one as well. Like, there's no stopping that now.
Yeah, Taz is burning the bottom left.
Yep, good call.
Yep.
He didn't forget. It's easy to forget because it happens right at the end of the turn. You could be thinking about it all turn, and then you like do your last nerve roll and go, all right, your turn, mate, whatever. And then halfway through their movement phase, you're like, shit.
Let's talk about that in the game yesterday. So I think it's one of the only things that triggers at that stage in the game. So it's not in your mind, is it? You know, there's plenty of things that trigger at beginning of turn or beginning of movement and things like that you're used to. But it's very, very easy to forget, isn't it?
Absolutely. But these players have been playing very tight throughout the game for the most part. They've not made many mistakes along those lines, notwithstanding a few errant D3s getting flung about from time to time.
Yeah. So Palace Guard are counter-charging. Do you think there's any way those Palace Guard could have snuck around that individual by backing up and then pivoting into the troll?
I think he might have been able to do it.
Yeah, that's what I thought looking at it. He could have just pivoted into them, right?
I thought he was too wide. I don't know. With hordes and an individual in the centre, you shouldn't be able to pivot past, I don't think, should you? Even with an inch back.
But just
You just got to make contact. Just pivot to make contact with and then you just pick up in place.
So the
I see what you're saying.
corner would just swing out and hit the trolls.
That's a bit weird.
Because now it's a 2-inch overrun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah, and if he fails it, then what? He gets hit by the trolls, most likely survives, and then charges back into them anyway. I guess it makes it a bit more of a thing. Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing that for? Don't do that. All right, he's all right. He's going right up to the edge of the arc site there with the Forest Guard troop. You're saying just
Oh, right, here's the.
I saw him sidestep into range and like, oh, don't do that. Oh.
So those archers now don't control that objective because he's too scared of the
Too
bear.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, which was another nice reason to go for the mage.
Yeah. Top of 6 in it now as well. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was on it. I was professional as always. I've gone for a wee as a change.
And Taz has gone.
So that
for
forest
second,
guard.
right? So,
Yeah. Forest guard's still out of arc of the bear.
I'd be tempted the dragon to walk off.
They are too.
The dragon can just walk off and threaten the rear of the Frostbank Faucet to move away rather than trying to push the palace.
Yeah, because there's no reason to hang around there anymore because the token's gone.
Nah. You might still do it.
Yeah, I would definitely be bringing the dragon into the middle of the board now, just for a turn 7 something.
Oh no!
Yeah, you can still rotate because it's still nimble, right? So you can go 1 inch back, rotate, just shuffle through the swamp, go for a bit of a paddle because he can't fly, but he can still scoot along the ground.
Still walk 10 inches.
Yeah. So lightning bolts after the trolls. Might as well get some damage on before you go in. Who needs drain life for that?
I'm gonna miss a critical moment here, but nature calls.
No, I was about to go to the toilet. Okay. I'll put the kettle on instead.
And here we are, just holding up the
Exactly.
cast with broad shoulders.
What can go wrong? So dragon's done. This is camera,
so Stephen's saying, can Taz just pivot with the Frostfang and then go at the double and get within 3 inches of that token and block the archers?
No,
to the top left, I'd imagine.
He's 18 away, and his only speed is 7, isn't it? So
yeah,
more than 18 away.
Realistically, now he's got to do turn 7, push the forest guard troop.
I mean, he's right. He could probably go and block them because then
block them and then back for a 7.
Yeah. I'm not sure what he gains though from it.
I think you just got to take what you can.
So they kill the dwarves.
Yeah.
With another 10 on the nerve. So Palace Guard.
19 hits.
19 hits, yeah. They are just a very powerful unit, isn't it?
13.
13 damage.
No, only 1 3 rolled.
Yeah.
Dead. Here we
Super
go with
dead.
the overrun.
Wow.
Well,
He's got it.
Now, these have got a fairly good shot of killing these in one, haven't they?
Yeah, especially with 2 damage on them, I reckon they do.
Could you turn that down just a notch, my love?
Sure, darling.
18 hits so far.
With a lead.
Oh,
Never mind.
total failure. Only 18 hits.
Yeah.
12 damage still. No, 9 damage.
9.
No bench jump. Oh. Sure, again, didn't like the first time.
Okay.
Good
bit
lesson.
there.
What, 11, yeah?
Yeah, needs one decent roll.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yep.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Oh,
Oh, it's getting grim here at the end, isn't it?
it is. It is. Our hero has unfortunately. Yes, I was hoping Shane could save us, the spirit of Saint Shane, but sadly, he has abandoned us. He's probably too busy shagging all the other saints up there in cricket heaven.
Okay, so
Okay.
bottom of 6.
Oh, Tom just got better looking, didn't he? Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
Yeah.
Tom. That's not bad, mate. That looks good on you.
Crisp. Yeah.
Man, yeah. So now Taz is probably wiping his tears, I assume, and just facing up to the fact that he's pushed. This game has become a total turd sandwich for him at this point.
Yeah.
Was he just content to contest that objective on a potential 7 now?
He's not actually contesting there, so I don't know if he's just going.
Was he hoping to 7 to contest or something? That's all he can hope for with that move.
Yeah.
Well, it'll only be contesting. He can't win it. Not with that move. That 6 is on the forest card, isn't it, though? So
Yeah.
Can he park himself next to the archers instead and make it so that they can't move through him to get the other objective? Is that not better? I don't know.
yeah, that's what Stephen was suggesting in the chat. So and then you're guaranteed to get it turn 7.
That might have been the play, but yeah, clearly he should have gone for the palace guard. In hindsight, easy to say in hindsight, isn't it? But
I reckon. Do you know what I reckon's happened with Tom? I reckon he was only here just to see if one of these guys could beat him, and now he's pissed off. He won't be back. He won't be back for the rest. He won't be back for the rest of the cast.
Yeah. He's just gone now.
He's confident in his laurels now, so he can just sit back and alt tab back to Red Tube and get on with his life. We can get away with saying that while he's not here, right? Yeah.
To be honest, I'm pretty sure he could say that when he was here.
I can hear you.
Oh, shit.
Now I'm worried about why his video is off.
He's already alt tabbed. He just doesn't care.
He really enjoys the feeling of a potential win.
Wow. You can see it now.
Thank God we've got the mute on as well. But
It's frothing at the mouth too much in anticipation.
we're frothing at something. Here he is.
There he is.
With a big grin on his face.
I have a feeling that Mike's banning us from future casts anyway.
Oh, well, you burn bright and short.
That's why. That's why we come in round 6.
All right, so there is a 7.
There is a 7. Okay.
He moved the Lord up so he could stay on the flank of the Forest Guard troop, but I think they can just shuffle out of arc and still be within 3.
Yeah, we get to witness the poor old Northern Alliance continue to pour uselessly at the knees of the Elven kindred.
Yep.
Yeah, and so there he goes. Gets that token top left.
Yeah. Which doesn't make a lick of difference to Taz's tournament, really. Like it's the shouting for him at this point.
Mm.
But good
Funny
effort.
thing is, that profile pic is actually a real life pic of Matt Selleck. Do you believe it?
Yeah, he's
It's
an
actually
unusual
way better
looking
looking.
character.
That pic's way better looking for sure.
Yeah, so just shuffled, so still in within 3, but out of arc.
That sucks.
Yeah. So in terms of bonus points, it's looking at 4, because the middle one's worth 2. And he's got a good whack of kills, so he'll be up there as well with the kills, won't he? He's looking at 23, 24, isn't he? Maybe
It's a pretty big win. Does that make it? Where does that put him in terms of knocking Tom off his perch in the event of Tom getting a draw tomorrow or something like that?
It's a good position to be in, I think. Yeah, if you Tom's at 11 points ahead, I think, at the minute, aren't you?
Yeah, 11 or 12. I can't remember, 11 or 12.
Yeah,
After this game, I was planning to sink a whole bunch more of these. So now you're going to make me get up early in the morning so I can watch your game, aren't you?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
How many hours is yours on, Tom?
What's that?
How long to your game?
Sunday
5 p.m. UK time. Sunday.
Oh, Alex Cousins just joined the cast. Probably just thinking about turn 7. Look, Alex, I lost so much weight today in that marathon. skin and bones. I'm a dried husk.
Who's shooting at who here? Is it this?
Yeah, Paul's rubbing salt in my wound
Good
now.
question.
He is. Oh, he's going for the oh no, he's going for the big guy. I thought he was going for the dwarf troop.
Yeah, I'm currently, I think
Lightning
Paul's
at
on 108 at the moment. I'm on 121, so he's 13 behind me. So if I get like a draw or like
With this scoring system, though, even a draw, you'll get enough bonus points to still win, right?
yeah.
Unless you're
108 after this game, you mean? 108 after adding this game, though.
No, he was on 100
He's 13
before.
behind at the moment, so it'll be
Right.
like 12 ahead, 10, 11 ahead, something like that. Numbers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's game. Shuffles up to contest, and that's that.
Cool, isn't it? Fair enough. Well,
You can
well
still
played to
control
both players.
Taz coming back in. What have we got to ask Taz about, I guess? Because we won't be able to ask Paul.
No.
Well, I don't know. I guess we just
I'm not
asked
sure there
him
was
if he
anything.
needs any counselling.
Yeah. I don't think that was played wrong really anywhere.
I think he made a few very small and debatable mistakes. Like, it depends if you look back on it or not. But I think he was very up against it matchup wise, and I think he needed a bit of luck to carry him through there, and didn't really get any spikes where he needed it.
I think, to be honest, the biggest mistake for me would be the deployment of the tokens. They must both have been sort of wanting to spread them out for them to be that spread out. Where I think Taz would have preferred a clump somewhere that he really could have made use of all of his combat blocks overlapping with each other.
Traditionally, spreading out against elves can work because they have so few drops, but then they've got so much maneuverability as well. And
Yeah,
I tend to agree with you. If he kept them squeezed up nice and tight as much as practical, and then especially if he won the roll for sides, which I presume he did because he's on the bottom, and that's the UB way, right? Because bottom's usually more powerful.
So I mean, the other thing would be whether he considered pushing those trolls back towards the middle earlier.
well, we can ask him. Here he is.
Here he is. Oh, and he's gone.
He's
Oh.
out.
Yeah,
He's
rage
like, oh, those
quit.
wankers were still here.
No,
Oh.
hello.
Yeah.
There he is.
Oh, he's
Poor
looking
hero.
sweaty on
Oh,
Yeah.
Defeated.
Nah, it's like 4 degrees outside, and I am in my t-shirt.
How's it feel, mate? Do you need a cushion to sit on or something?
No, look, it's just like, I mean, you
I can
can
run
see
down the hill and get you a cuddle.
all of the wounds that are on the table. Like, it was just a key moment. I think he definitely had me, like, the advantage of his speed and his target selection, and his ability to just choose which combats go into it, and his shooting, being able to, like, he was the only guy who had an answer to my half elves in this tournament. Every other tournament I've gone in, and no one brings light shooting anymore, right? They either bring war machines, which shoot at my frost fangs, or nothing. Nothing really. Like, I haven't run into much lightning bolt that's targeted my half elves. I did run into one army that had a lot of lightning bolt, but it went all after my frost fangs too. And yeah, he took out my frost fangs, but my half elves just went to town. And whereas Paul, and I knew I was kind of in trouble when I was chatting with Paul when we were paired up, and he's just gone straight away, man, your half elves are all. And I'm like, damn it, I wish you hadn't noticed that, because he just took them all out. And then without the screen, his superior speed was just there. I would have liked to kill that dragon.
We shouted for you. We wanted it to.
Yeah, we were on your side.
It was very cinematic, right? That one regiment of dwarves, like, basically tying up a good 400 odd points of his army.
That was a really good play down there, actually. We were debating each time whether you should burn the token. And actually, it went really well there.
Yeah, so that was the thing with the dwarves is I know how much of a hit they can take outside of spike rolls. And so I thought, I'm going to hold this until I absolutely have to burn it. Because if I burned it too early, his dragon would have been off doing all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah, that was the play for sure. Well
And
done.
I thought about trying to run the other horde of dwarf clansmen into the center with the Lord. So that's unit strength 4, trying to sort of contest that thing there. But with, only 11 wounds on the Palace Guard, they can still take another round of combat, and they're deleting something every combat, right? So I just didn't like my chances with the Lord of taking the Palace Guard out, because, like, what are they? They're 24 nerve. And that means that, even with 11 wounds on them, they're still a ways off going. I did think that I'd win that one that was on the hill with my snow trolls. I thought I outplayed him there, but his Palace Guard just ripped through it. So anyway, that's just the way it goes. I probably should have not charged the Palace Guard with the Thane. I don't think it mattered in the end, but his Palace Guard were always going to be able to charge my trolls. So I might as well have just tried to keep the re-roll and the extra point of nerve on the trolls, rather than trying to jam him up. But I don't know, if you'd rolled a 1, it would have been nice. But even then, I don't think the trolls with 18 attacks on 4s, I don't think we're still going to get through the Palace Guard in one go. So,
we wondered if you should have tried to squeeze the objectives together a little bit, and maybe even run the half elves behind the snow trolls, in the benefit of hindsight, so that the lightning was a bit less effective.
in the benefit of hindsight, maybe let him do his plink damage, his plink shooting on the thing. I kind of hoped, and this is probably the big mistake for me, I hoped that he would make mistakes, and he didn't. I hoped that he would, because normally when I play people, they get really distracted by the Frost Fangs, and I'd hoped that he would put all of his shooting into the Frost Fangs, and I hoped that that's what he would do, but he didn't. He sort of left them.
And that first turn of shooting is too, with all the sixes.
Look, and his shoot, it was all. And I mean, how much value did he get out of Elite? Hey, there was so many roles where I was like, I'll take this, but then Elite comes in. But that's why you take Elite, right? I don't know. I like that his army was a mix of infantry, cav, flies, and a little bit of shoot. It's like it's not a particularly universal battle type.
I've said it a few times that when I've played Paul, I think the first time I played him, you looked at his army and it looks like somebody that doesn't play Kings of War very often. It looks like sort of my first Kings of War army. You think, this would be a nice game, and then he tables you. You go,
nonsense.
You bugger.
This is a good Kings of War army. You want to compete in all the phases. I love it.
Exactly.
So I saw it. I saw it when he shared it with me, and I thought that's kind of weird. And then, like I said, I played some practice games, and it's just like the ability for it to alpha strike sort of everything. Where it wants, and the ability for its shooting to just go ham, and then he did what I really didn't want him to do, which was hold back and just shoot at me and shoot at me and shoot at me, and then jump on the stuff right at the end. Maybe I should have deleted some more tokens, but I don't know, I was still playing for the win, and I was still playing for the extra points, because I wanted to beat Alex Coos.
I don't blame you. I think you're right.
Alex, because we know he's listening. Just so you know, Alex, we're only at 2 hours 27, and we're just about finished the cast. So
and we went slower because the guy kept on dropping out. The main guy. So we could have been done sooner, but that's all right. I'm very happy to play Alex. So I'll give him a 60-minute clock, and we'll see how we go. Hey.
Just so you know, guys, in our we were talking earlier about this being the crack commentary team. Mike says we're all hired. We were talking about it before. So in he's going to split the YouTube check with us once there's 800 more subscribers.
Jeez, that might be enough subscribers together to get it. Maybe I can get him to half fill a cup of latte or something for me, and take that all the way to the bank. But I think you're right, Taz. On paper, I actually kind of liked your list, but then we all agreed almost as soon as we deployed, as soon as we saw the deployment, we're like, actually, this doesn't look like a great matchup. The shooting is just so impactful against all those half elves and stuff, and he's able to dictate terms with the manoeuvring so many flyers. It was a tough matchup, and I think you did really well to give yourself the opportunity to spike the dice rolls and just didn't quite actually happen.
Yeah. So I did think about significantly changing my list up to bring a bunch of ice elementals, because I had a variant that was sort of assuming that I was going to be attacked by a lot of flyers and shooters and stuff like that. So it started out being a Frostbound theme list, and it ended up looking kind of like Tom Annis's one that he ran today, like a whole bunch of.
I've done it before. That 4 hot spice on those with 3 ice creams is really, really strong. Really strong.
Yeah, so it was 3 hordes of ice elementals. It wasn't quite that extreme, but Hrim and some ice elements. But then I just thought, it's kind of lame. Like, given that I know what he's going to run, it's kind of lame to tailor at least to that. And so I'm going to dance to the girl that brung me. But I really probably should have at least deployed my half elves behind. I just didn't want his because his Dracons.
Yeah.
Again, I thought he played them a bit weird, not turning them in sooner, but or not doing the dragon thing where it goes down and turns to face. But anyway, I just didn't want his 2 Dracons, because I know that the Dracon Regiment and the Dracon Horde running into any of my units on the dice should take it out in one go.
Yeah, I felt it was less the frosty ice elementals that you might have needed there, and a bit more some decent range, sort of reliable firepower, like just a bit of scrappy bolt thrower stuff or something to force him to move forward a bit more and threaten his mages and finish off units that had shitloads of wounds on them. Just the ability to plink out a little bit in that game.
If I'd had like some just like my master Icekin hunters, or the Ice Queen with Blizzard or something like that, maybe. But I don't know. Then
part of that as well is you threw the Ice Blade with wings away immediately, and I'm there going, it's a great late game piece. We're going after those wizards who have nowhere left to hide. We're going after the Forest Guard. They're going, you threw a Draken's turn 1.
Yeah. No, that's probably more than anything would be the biggest mistake, because late turn that just going in, because that's what won me not won me the game. That's what won me the draw when I went against Mark Campbell's triple dragon list when we were playing Kill. Was I kept Ice Blade alive until the very end, and it just ping-ponged around between stuff, and was never a big enough threat to target, but was always putting 2-3 wounds on stuff. So yeah, but nah, look, big props to Paul. Yeah, that was wild. I'm gonna be looking at all those looking at all those wounds on the table for a long time, I think.
Yeah, look, I mean, congrats, Taz, anyway, doing so well in such a massive tournament. I think this is you did better in this than you ever have in any Australian tournament. I don't think you've ever peaked above halfway.
Nah. Nah. So I've so a big difference was
obviously the field of very strong and those kinds of things as well. I have got these ready for you, mate. So tomorrow, if you need it during our game, you can stay lubricated and feel a bit better about the whole situation.
No, it's more I need one of them donut cushions, I reckon.
Now we're talking.
I don't know. It's elite. It was just like every time he rolled, and then he did all these rerolls, and I was just like, oh, because I was like, can he have a bad roll for once? And it's just like, no, with elite he cannot. He had plenty of bad shooting, but anyway.
I'm gonna have to pull the elves out of now because I know you'll just have PTSD. So just gonna put them on the table and just stuff.
Well, between Nick Prosser. I mean, who plays elves that I know? I think Glenn plays elves. Maybe I'll.
Selleck's pretty determined on the elves, and of course Swordmaster down these parts never gives up on them.
Yeah. So the thing with Swordmaster is his insistence on playing like the same list that he has since Warhammer Fantasy Battles, like.
Since about like 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy, I think he's loved it for a long time.
Because the thing is with elves is like it's these Palace Guard or Tall Spear hordes that are sort of really key. Like I'm sure you could write a list to win without it, but
rate obviously the dragon, but also rate the big forest beastie, the tree man. What's that called again? Forest warden.
The tree
herder. Yeah. That's the beast.
The forest warden's the El Cheapo one.
Yeah, the bigger one. Yeah, legit.
Yeah. So no, look, I think that's I don't know. My dwarf clansmen were awesome. Love them.
They were very awesome. I liked it. They almost held the game themselves.
Yeah.
115 points of unit strength. Right, guys, I'll wrap us up there. I'll just say this is the first of 4 games on Dash 28 today or tomorrow, depending on what time zone you're in. So check out Dash 28's YouTube page just for the other games coming up. A massive thank you to everybody involved. And I shall see you all tomorrow for the top table clash.
Don't crack
You
bedtime.
really tell me you're excited.
And commiserations.
Look forward to it. Like I say in pre-game, I don't know what list I'm going to use yet. I don't know what to do. So.
Put it to a poll. Let the community vote on it.
Well,
Huge thanks to Paul and Tas for letting us watch the game, and I shall see you all later.
See you guys.
Thank you. You get the awkward moment now. It doesn't quite go off.
Did you want me to hit the end broadcast, or have you already hit it?
I've got it.